The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack. This like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Before we start the show, we want to thank our sponsors, Pillars. Pillars is the best clothing line in the Chicagoland area. If you're looking for a dope hoodie, a sweatsuit, shirts, shoes, or even stuff for your kids, Pillars is where you should go. You can visit any of their 4 store locations in the Chicagoland area or visit pillarsclub.co and order online. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Friday, May 24th, 2024. I am your host, Scott Lewis. Of course, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Barberchair Scott. You can follow the Barberchair Network at I've been fucking up all the time, man. But anyway, it's Friday at Barberchair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you, Bang, for on at the beginning. This is what happens, Dante, when you're on golf trips. But anyway, we can follow H&B Media, HB Media TV on Twitter, and then HB Media on Instagram. Get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. You can go to pillarsclub.co, or you can go to pillars_club to get everything they've got. Or you can visit any of their 3 store locations in the Chicagoland area. There's one in the West Loop over on Madison, one in Orland Park Mall, and of course one in Chicago Ridge Mall. Man, we have got a massive show for y'all today, man. It is the start of Memorial Day weekend, and just a show reminder or announcement, there will be no show on Monday because it is the holiday, and I will be doing one of 4 things. Well, all 4 things. That is grilling, playing some old school music, drinking a lot of alcohol, and probably watching the Eastern Conference. Actually, I won't be watching the Eastern Conference Finals. I'll be watching something else. Maybe Dune 2, because I'm done with the Eastern Conference Finals. As you see, there's a theme in today's episode, man. And for everybody who wants to check out our local hour, of course, you can visit our Patreon, man. You can visit patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network to check out the local hour. You check out all the other things we've got on the network on our Patreon. We've got our new 20th anniversary Entourage rewatch series me and Dante doing called Return to Queens Boulevard. We haven't done Summer Sessions episode in a long time, and hopefully it'll be next week. I really can't guarantee that for y'all. New 79th and Hallis episode up right now. It'll be on the free feeds later this weekend, but if you want to check it out early, it's up there now. Dante is out today, like I said. He's on a little golf vacation. Courtney and Mikey will be joining us later in the show. The homie Tosin from Shirtless Plantain Show will be joining us in about 30 minutes. And the homie Damien will be joining us in about 30 minutes as well. Respect the Culture with Larry Legend also as well today. Before we bring in our special guest, I want to bring in my co-host for the day, man, and our producer for the day, Mr. J.R. Bang. Bang, how you feeling, brother?
I like how you blame me. That's
how we do.
That's how we do. But it's in the notes. Like, you got that shit written.
Yeah.
When I hosted the draft day coverage, when your ass was out here couldn't talk, I didn't even have that under there. I just read. All right. But how y'all doing, man? Fresh 42. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fresh 42 years old. You know what I'm saying? The draft thing went very smooth. Now, granted, I was on every drug imaginable when I watched it because I was sick, but it looked smooth to me. But let's start this off, man. We're going to bring our first guest in here, man. Of course, he is a friend of the program already. If you have seen this brother on NBC Sportsnet, Chicago Bulls post and pregame, he is also the host of one of the best podcasts out right there on the Ringer Network, The Full Go. That is Mr. Jason Goff himself. You can follow him on social media at Jason1Golf. Jason, man, how you feeling, brother? What's going on?
I'm good, man. But let me I'm not going. He's not going to start. you niggas is getting a lot of money because I sat here for 2.5 minutes. This man ran a commercial.
Man.
The top of the show got all the production elements of a Stars Network series premiere. Like, you out here.
Hey, man.
I knew y'all was out here doing y'all thing.
This is a big rich town.
What?
We
I gotta home, boy. I gotta get some in my life.
In the words of Money Mitch, I ain't got no money, man.
Hey, man, damn, bro. Like, if you want to tuck my chain, I'm out here. You know, man. I have to park around the corner.
Shout out our guy, the boy Illinois, for blessing us with the intro as always.
Yeah,
stream that on all social media.
That's the good peoples.
Yeah, good. That's my brother, and also shout out to Pillars, man. That's my people over there as well for holding us down, man. But Memorial Day weekend, man, a lot of things going on in the world. Definitely want to get your opinion on, some basketball, some football. But let's start off with the basketball. We're in the middle of the conference finals, the NBA's Final Four. Game 2 of the West Conference Finals kicks off in a couple hours. You got the Minnesota Timberwolves trying to not go down 0-2 at the crib against Luka, Kyrie, and the Mavericks. And, of course, the series that I will not be watching any longer, the Eastern Conference Finals between the Boston Celtics and my new mortal enemy, Jason Tatum, and the Indiana Pacers. Jason, man, let's start with tonight. So let's talk about the better series in this. Tell me, what were you expecting going into this series, and just what exactly you saw in game 1 and how you think Minnesota can respond tonight?
I don't know what to expect. So, and it's not a cop-out. It's just I didn't expect these two teams to be in this position, right? Like, you expected at some point a team that had been together maybe a little bit longer, one that wasn't just on the periphery. We were talking about them as a playing situation last year, right? So, and can Kyrie and Luka gel together? Like, there's still so many moments that we haven't had answered by that crew for them to get to this point. And then you got the Timberwolves who, hey, man, defense travels every time, every day, every minute, every quarter. So the fact that they have kind of spit in the face of conventional NBA roster wisdom and said, hey, we're just going to put 2 7-footers out here and one do this and the other one do that, and then we're going to sub in another 6'10" guy, and we're just going to be bigger and longer than y'all. And, Jaden McDaniels is one of my favorite from the career, around the crib. So one of my favorite players to watch. And Anthony Edwards, just he talking that shit that the real, the ones that are the ones do it, but they usually do it like on the low or on the side or wait till they accomplish something. He's trying to tell you he's the best before you knew he was. So I didn't know what to expect in game 1, but I knew that Luka and Kyrie were going to have something to say about like all the fanfare that is around Anthony Edwards and like Anthony saying, I can't wait to stick Kyrie, shit like that. Like Kyrie didn't look, Kobe Bryant in the face in Team USA practices and tell him, right? So it's like Kyrie started that game. You knew it was one of those, okay, this is two dudes meeting up at the park that got something to settle. And then Luka Doncic came home with it. Like, that's going to have to be their formula. I worry that what I'm learning, but I talked about it on my pod too. When we talk about the Bulls, you either got bodies that are maturing or bodies that have already matured to what they're going to be, right? You got these two squads who the functional big on the Dallas Mavs, well, 2 of them are Gafford and Lively, but those are like rim runner, like new age conventional bigs, whereas you got Rudy Gobert, say what you want about him, but that dude is a load, man. And when Anthony Towns decides to find himself in the paint, that's still 6'11", 7 feet that you got to guard. So if Dallas can kind of control the possession game, and not have it be lopsided like they did in the first game, I think it's all good. But if they start to, be more physical, like Mike Conley's a very physical cat. Anthony Edwards, very physical cat. Jaden McDaniels consumes you with his length. That's his physical. I love when we talk about physicality and we don't act like certain traits are more important than actual strength, like overwhelming. Right. Randy Moss, one of the most physical players in the history of the NFL, right? But he was skinny. But his physicality was, I'm gonna outrun you. Like I'm that much better than you. I'm gonna overwhelm you. Like Jaden McDaniels, you look at him, you think he's some 6'8", 6'9", just wing player, and then you see where he faces up with power forwards and shooting guards alike. It's like, okay, they're a more physical team. So I expect Minnesota to be a lot more physical than they were in the first game. But I don't know what to call it or how to call it because these teams haven't really answered any questions previous to this moment. Like this is a weird time when we're gonna have a new champion and not expect for some of the same participants to be at the end.
And that's a good point too when you talk about like having a new champion, because we're gonna have our 6th straight new NBA champion. Everybody, I feel like NBA fans for the longest have been complaining. I'm tired of seeing LeBron in the finals. Tired of the Warriors, they win all the time, and everybody wanted parity like the NFL. Well, you got parity now, so there might be a chance you might have a Boston, Minnesota, Boston, Dallas, not the big, bright cities that everybody expect. Not that Boston's not a big city, but, everybody, for the most part, don't like Boston. That's pretty much, what the perception is. So do you think, because I've been asking people this question, do you think that NBA fans like the idea of parity more than actual parity?
For sure. And no matter – this happened at the end of Mike's run too, where it's like that 99 to like 03 space where it's like, all right, got a lockout in there. You got a Spurs team they just coming of age. Who going to take the league over? What's happening with the Eastern Conference? Is the Toronto Raptors in the Eastern Conference final? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and the only difference is we're seeing these older cats who still are playing at a high level, but we're just seeing them descent into like, damn, they got to do a whole bunch more to be on this stage now, right? Kevin Durant, we act like Kevin Durant isn't, 2 years off of an Achilles and also into year, 17, 16, something like that. We act like Steph Curry is just some kid running around. Next thing you know, you look up how many extra games have they played in these last 7 years worth of playoffs. Right. And then LeBron, no matter how you feel about LeBron, whether you hate him, whether you love him, there is no real in between. Right. Like I'm a person who respects his game. And then I get, oh, you're a LeBron lover. I'm like, no, it's not that I love him more than I've loved any basketball player. But what I do understand is this kind of heat that's been around this dude for 21 years. When he walks out, be prepared to be in that search the same way the league was for about 4 or 5 years. Yeah, we had Kobe on the West Coast, so a lot of people didn't get a chance to see him until it was time to start watching the finals, until it was time to start watching the playoffs, right? You had Michael in the center of the country for 12, 14 years and was the king of the castle, right? LeBron being in Cleveland, then being in Miami, now in LA, like once he goes, who you gonna hate?
You bring up an amazing point, because that's for me, as I've always said, I was LeBron James hater class of 2002.
And it works. Right?
It worked. It brought enjoyment. Yeah, I know I can. There's gonna be. I can argue about it. And actually, the last 2 years, I haven't really had no problems. Because I'm like, man, it's coming to an end. Who am I gonna root against now?
And the other problem is, maybe not a problem, but for 4 years, Scott, for 4 years, documented, I've been saying, hey, y'all, you better be careful, because soon the only American-born players are going to be the sons of these former players. Yeah. Right? And what are we looking at now? Like, the reason why Anthony Edwards is so refreshing is like, it's one of the dudes who we used to kind of get every year in the league. Yeah. Now it's, okay, Wemby. It's Jokic, it's Giannis, it's Joel Embiid. Like, look at the way the All-Star game looks. Like, look at that last one in Salt Lake City. Like, American-born basketball players are having to, like, the middle class is getting cut out. so unless, shout out to my man Kendall, right? Like, Phoenix is a problem, right? Like, those kinds of kids are getting ready to be the representative of American basketball. So, like, if you sitting around and you looking at guys who are just pissing away opportunities, like, hey, man, John Moran had the lead put on a platter to him. Zion Williamson on a platter. And meanwhile, who are we talking about? We talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Talking about, you know what I mean? We talking about Luka Doncic. We talking about Embiid. We talking about, and it's no disrespect. It's no shade.
Yeah.
None at all. But you know, the landscape is changing. So you know, the game ain't waiting for certain cats. And when LeBron says goodbye, when Steph says goodbye, when Kevin says goodbye, it's gonna be looking strange. All right, gotta learn how to speak French now.
Yeah, but see, to that point, on one of the prior shows a couple of weeks ago, I had talked about that. At least back in our day, you could go back to high school and be like, all right, this person is going to come up. Like we had LeBron James and we knew he was on the way. Look, there was debates about OJ Mayo and how OJ Mayo was going to be the next big thing. You can look at high school now, and like you look at high school now, and you got to ask like your nephew or your cousin, little brother, like, yo, who's out there? And there is so many ball is life videos and some of these others to where I get stuck on the where are they nows now and realize like, yo, none of these kids has made it, but we're stuck on Anthony Edwards, who, if you think about that draft, a lot of people wasn't even happy about that draft that he went number one. Yeah. And then you got Ja Morant, who
wanted to be John Wick.
Right. He pissed away his chance, but I still think it's going to
be. He still got a redemption.
He still got a shot.
But it's not going to be like it was set up.
No, he has to go on the revenge tour. And
now he's got to be the bad guy.
Now he has to be Floyd
Mayweather. Yeah. So, and meanwhile, we sitting around watching like the different dynamics, especially in this city, where teams that you were like, all right, same pace, same level, Cleveland, Orlando, Indiana, Chicago, Atlanta. And then you start to see who separates themselves and which market starts to become more attractive now. Like the money that they spent on Jalen Brunson, when Jalen Brunson is used up in a couple of years, 2.5, 3 years. Oh, yeah, because the CBA money is getting poured in here. You know, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, everybody's, ponying up. NBC, shout out to the NBA on NBC. You know what I mean? Like, things are getting ready to happen here. Yeah. So these markets that we talked about kind of hovering, waiting for the next shoe to drop, the markets that didn't have LeBron, the markets that don't have Steph, the markets that don't have, Giannis, like, things are going to get a lot more interesting. That's why, like, this offseason, you'll have players like Julius Randle, who, 3-4-time All-Star, dude who, if you're the third best player on your team, you rolling. You just got to convince him you're the third best player on your team. Like that
that's the point. You got to convince him. Yeah.
And then back to, a very long answer to your short question. My apologies. I think people like the thought of parity, but investment will always trump parity.
Yeah.
And having some kind of investment and some kind of emotional tie, whether it's your grandmother throwing shit at the TV because she don't like LeBron, or your girl secretly watching Steph thinking, man, my life could have been a lot better if I made better decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like those kind of dudes are getting ready to phase out. And now you're asking yourself, all this parity that you wanted, are these the stars that you're ready to hand the league over to?
And that makes me feel old because it's like, LeBron got drafted when I was 14. Steph is my age. Katie like a year older than me. So it's like, damn.
Now you cooked, G.
I'm done.
You feel like me when Allen Iverson ended up in Denver.
I went to a Charger game and I went to a Charger game and I saw Asante Samuel Jr. I was like, I beg your pardon.
It's bad out here.
I saw his daddy play. Yeah.
Hey, Scott, but real quick to your to add on to your parody thing, people that watch the NBA don't want parody. They've never seen parody in their life. Their parents may have saw parody or their grandparents in the 70s, but even they didn't like that shit because the NBA was damn near bankrupt in the 70s. Yeah. You like the NBA when it was teams, like you like the NBA when it was players running this shit. You like the NBA when the Lakers won 5 and Boston won 3, Detroit won 2, the Bulls won 6, Houston won 2. And you hated it until the Lakers start winning and shit. You like dominant teams.
NBA fans like identity.
Exactly. So real quick, I want to jump in and get a question because, Scott, I think you went on to something. with all of this parody, that this fake parody y'all call is what's going on, and then you have somebody like the Boston Celtics who do have made quite possibly the most talented team in the league, not just in the play, just in the league in general.
Yeah.
If they do win, do you see this team as somebody who can roll off one or two more titles?
So Boston has that I believe it when I see it vibe to it, and it looks like they're gonna get rid of the Pacers here, especially if Tyrese Halliburton's hamstring is an issue or whatever's going on with that left leg. But if they win a championship, we've been kind of playing them like they are older and more accomplished than they have been. Whereas like back in the day, this was like the natural growth progression where we saw Jason Tatum so early challenge LeBron, and we were just looking for like an anti-LeBron, like, okay, all right, it's D Rose, all right, he got hurt. It's Paul George in Indiana, all right, that ain't working. All right, now it's Jason Tatum, and Jason Tatum kind of got stuck, and then all of a sudden, when he grew like a normal star to be grows or should grow, we kind of like, all right, when is it going to happen now? And then they put Jaylen Brown next to him. It's like, all right, this is a dude who's going for his as well. So the whole believe it in Boston thing has always been kind of tough. And they found a way to Boston it up. Now, they put a floor general and also a selfless floor general out there in Drew Holiday. Added a level of physicality, not only defensively but intelligence. Like they've got a nice setup. I just wonder if we're so used to seeing teams go on a run, like we just talked about, like this last 4 years, it kind of like recalibrated how we should truly expect the NBA to look or roll. Like they don't strike me as some dynastic team, and simply because Jason Tatum still gets questioned because he's not in that top tier. And it's like, well, if he's not in that top tier, he's knocking on the door of that top tier, like a player who's been in the league 7 to 8 years, like a player who's drafted, top 3 in his draft, probably should have been taken instead of Markelle Fultz. Like he's growing like a player should grow. But do you believe he is that dude to spearhead a run of 3 championships in 5 years? Hell, we wake up today after 2 games and people talking about Jaylen Brown being the better player on the team, right? And it's like, if show me the dynastic team where you was like, number 2, he might be better than that number. You know what I mean? Like we barely do that, and if we did do it, it's because it's like I just like this guy better. Right?
Or the rare Golden State Warriors thing.
Yeah. Like nobody was like, hey, I fuck with Steph, but Clay.
Right.
You know what I mean? That didn't happen. So it's kind of hard for me to go into this playoffs like somebody might trip their ass up to, all right, if y'all win, now I expect y'all to win championship after championship. I think it's unfair too, because you don't really it's unfair to put those expectations on something you don't believe in like that. Like it's like asking somebody to be something they not like, God damn it, why couldn't you do that? It's like, I'm still trying to figure out what you are, so it'd be unrealistic for me to think that you can repeat this even in the midst of me questioning who you might be.
Right. And to me, my biggest problem with them, I think if and when they win, I think that they should win. It's gonna be one of those if you're not everybody except for Celtic fans is gonna be like, well, it's about time. I don't think anybody's gonna praise them like a champion probably should be praised, just because of how we feel about this team. And we had the homie Black Trey was on here a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about how it's unfair with the Tatum criticism because he's only 25. But since he's been in the playoffs really every year of his career, it feels like he's older than he is. Like we're treating him like year 9 LeBron. But my issue with Tatum is not that, I hate Tatum. My issue with Tatum is I feel like he should be better than what he is. How many times fourth quarter gotta come and he think this is 2K? Why are you fading off on TJ McConnell? That don't make no sense to me. And I don't feel like Jaylen Brown is the number 1 either. I feel like Jaylen Brown's your number 1. You probably gonna be in the play-in. But I feel like the way he carries himself is a little better. I love what he told that reporter yesterday, where they were like, well, did you feel like you were snubbed from all NBA? He said, look, we're 2 wins away from the final. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's what I want to hear from Tatum. If you go around telling, I'm the best player in the league, which you should think, every player should think that of themselves.
Well, and the environment that he said that in too. I mean,
Yeah, right, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
show it to me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I want him to do better. That's how I feel for Tatum because the 22.
Didn't he say that to Taylor though?
He tell, hey, yeah, I know
He
you
said it
was
to
hearing-
Taylor, right?
Hey, I know
Like
you
people,
was-
and Taylor's my people. So, but
Taylor's the
people sit
homie.
across from Taylor and say some wild shit. So, you know what I mean?
I put out my interview with
People
Taylor.
sit across from Taylor like, you know, I'm an astronaut, right? Like,
I put out
it's
my
basketball
interview.
just my side shit.
I put out my interview with Taylor, and everybody was tweeting. How many lives you say, Scott?
Right. You know the vibes. Like, you know, when you motherfuckers sit there and spray a little banana, like, you know, I planned the original.
I can do this
the
too.
original
Yeah, so
Declaration of Independence was my idea. You know that shit was on.
we probably gotta give him a slide for that. But man, let's get to some football.
Hey, so it's a different day in Hallis Hall. We got a new quarterback that wears number 18. First of all, 18 is just a weird ass number.
Horrible number.
For just a horrible number in general. I don't give a damn who's wearing it. The shit's horrible.
So you didn't like when Peyton Manning wore 18?
No, I did not like it. Like, there's cool numbers, fam. Like
Not a
1,
big Dennis
5,
Savard
7,
fan, you know what I mean?
13.
Right, yeah,
15.
exactly.
You do some random numbers like 19 and like it's 18, 19. Come on, G. But we do got somebody like Caleb Williams and it seems like to me, not somebody that's not going into these rooms like you are, that it feels like it is a new day. And it feels like the team that was 7-10, it feels like the aura is like, yo, we one of the best teams in the league. Y'all just don't know it yet.
Right.
Am I wrong in thinking this? Like, moving away from the fans, it just feels like to me that the players is just around here holding their nuts.
Yeah. Nah, it is. That's it.
Okay.
And you know, like, we still got a long way to go. Like, we all new to this, man. Everybody new to this.
Yep.
It's so crazy because we're not new to it. Like, this is the third time in like 7 years that we like, hey, we got one. I mean, the first one. Mitch, everybody was like, if this is one, then I don't know what I'm watching. But the Justin thing was like, hey, I might have one. But, you know, we still, it's going to be so crazy, man, because I feel like all of us are going to be learning while he learning on how to do this thing, on the appropriate expectations, the appropriate
100%.
You know, fans figuring out that, hey, the second day of OTAs really don't matter as much as you
don't
think.
matter.
Yeah. And you know, it depends on what kind of fan you're always talking to as well. Like, if you know your boys that want to ride the roller coaster, so you just be like, you just hold their shit till they get off the ride. Like, I'll be down here when you're done. Fam.
I promise you yesterday when I was watching the practice, and I'm like, I really don't want to tweet what I'm seeing right now because this is not a good day for Caleb. Like, you know, like they had that 2 Chainz and Migos playing, and I see Jalen Johnson and Jaquan dancing every 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm like,
you Texas like they dancing over here. I don't know what to say right
now. Tweet that shit though. You know
I did it. I put the gift with the Dudley boys putting somebody through a table. I'm like, this is how they did Caleb. Boy, my mentions were boom, 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 boom. Like, it was just crazy.
But you know why though? You know, because if he's a man, all this stuff gonna be a part of the journey.
Exactly.
Who have we seen that's truly been like? Who is the? And it's so crazy because Bill Simmons and I were talking about this not too long ago. Who is the high Q, cachet, just through the roof, man or woman in this city, in Chicago sports?
Right now?
Like, who's the person? Who's the person that's above everybody? Like when Walter was here, or when, you know, D Rose had his run, or of course Mike, when Frank Thomas was the man. Like, we had a lot of conversations about, like, okay, you know, you mess around and see somebody in a restaurant with another dude, like, oh shit, I wonder who got seated first, because both them dudes, you know what I mean? Who's that person in Chicago sports right now?
I don't think we got. I mean, it might be Caleb by the
It
vote.
is.
Yeah, it might be Caleb by the vote.
So I say that to say this: nobody is prepared.
Yeah,
and it's not. It's
Bears
not
ain't prepared.
No. Hey, that's what I was going to start.
Yeah.
It's not disrespect. You can tell that they ain't ready for the amount of media that's on those practice sidelines when you go up there right now. And it's no shot at Ted Cruz.
Any of them over
Ted
there.
Cruz, the dude that came over from Kansas City, who's done it on the championship level with the Chiefs. Like, they are now building an infrastructure to whereas, hey, y'all, this is about to be a rock star.
Yeah.
So let's do the things that are necessary. Let's develop the way who got a terse word so we can find you somewhere else to go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's happening now. So in the midst of that, the people like us who might be on the ground, or the people who are the super casuals who just want to tune in to a box score or see what's happening and read the game notes, those are people like, I don't know what to do in this exercise either, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? So they and the players too. Like, come on, man. I'm 43 years old. My entire life has been 7-9 outside of 5 seasons. Right? So now when I'm looking at it like, oh, you got the defense talking crazy on the third day because they got something to prove, it's because they know he's the man. Yeah. You've been prepped and propped like the man. Now you gotta be the man in these moments. So
and Byers said that too. Byers like, yo, he tore us up on Monday, so we had to get.
And this is how it's supposed to go. This is how it's supposed to go. The Kansas City Chiefs got carried by a defense last year, and in the alien,
nobody wants to talk about that.
yeah. And the alien in alien moments was like, I'm still an alien, y'all. You know what I mean? So, right? He throwing the dudes who drag racing and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
how do we as fans, like you said, outside of 7 and 9, you know, we've had special times, but even in those special times, we was toddlers, man. Right. Like, my first bit of success as a Bears fan is watching them get their ass washed by the San Francisco 49ers in like 1989. And I know everybody treats me as the old nigga on the show, but I am, and I wear it well. So 42 the other day. So
birthday, bro.
Thank you. So that's like my first bit of success, successful memory as a Bears fan. I'm not an 85, 86 guy. Right. I wasn't here when Wilbur Marshall was killing people, and I saw all of these other players as they got old.
Brings that up all the time. Well, 85. I'm like that. I don't want to hear about the party for the 100th time.
So is it? I'll say this: defensively, this is not new to me because we've always had swagger on our defenses when we were good. However, offensively, this shit feels weird.
Yeah, and it should. Yeah. So your first time don't feel awesome. You got to think your else thing. You feel it?
It's like Sanaa Lathan on Love and Basketball. We just sitting there with the music on, like, how is this shit gonna go?
Hey. All you hope for, because this is the other thing too. Like, he's coming in on the heels of a ridiculous rookie season by a quarterback too.
Yeah.
So if he's not CJ Stroud off the bat, expect the same people to sound alarms as well. Like, you got to designate right now what kind of fan you gonna be throughout 100%. This. And if you want to go back and forth and he sucks and I love him, then cool. And if you want to be in the cut, like, I'm in the cut, like, this is going to be cool. I hope it's going to be cool. It feels like it's going to be cool. But I also understand that the NFL is a different monster. Yep. And the NFL has humbled players who are more highly publicized, players who you saw more from in college when they had to stay 3 years and couldn't transfer. Like, so I have results that say, hey, this is going to be a journey. But at the same time, these kind of prospects, the people you trust, you should trust them too, right? The people that you like, okay, this person knows football. Everybody that I trust football-wise, like, no, this is what it's supposed to be. Like, I had somebody tell me that at this point in his career, because he's about to take his first NFL snaps here, that he has a faster processor than Patrick Mahomes, the people who are around Patrick Mahomes. When they got Patrick Mahomes has said it. When he got dropped off in KC, it's like, hey, I can throw the ball hard. I can throw the ball over the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then all of a sudden you learn to change up. You learn little touch passes. The stuff he was doing on that Saturday that I pulled up on, like the practicing of the off the landmark and off the target throws, like the certain things that the guys gotta put arm strength into is a flick of the wrist for him. So the prospect we haven't seen before, this kind of fanfare we haven't seen before, and frankly, a guy hadn't been dropped in this soft landing spot in a while as well. So nobody knows how to do it, how to cover it, how to feel about it. Just engage, man. Like find an access point that you rock with and just ride that. If you want to be the fan, then be that, because there gonna be moments. Because when he throw 3 interceptions in the first half against a team that you think is ass, you're going to really have to sit down.
I'm glad you said that, too. There's a lot of people who saw that Titans game like, 50. I'm like, Titans got to get secondary, man.
It's not going to be easy.
It ain't going to be easy now.
You don't think Warren Moon just going to fall out of bed. That's not happening.
50 game is Carolina.
And 50 game is Carolina. I've already told people.
Carolina the homecoming game.
See, I've been doing interviews for a position in Carolina. I've been telling them, thank y'all for this. And we're going to wash y'all ass. So if y'all need somebody to call during the week, just call me.
Bryce Young, they said he put on 15 pounds worth of muscle. You know what I mean? He pulled up last year looking like he worked for the Geek Squad. Now he, you know what I mean? Now he actually can install your cable for you. You know what I mean?
Who he throwing to? PD Pablo? Like who's the wide receiver they even
Come
got
on,
out
man.
there?
I mean, Deontay Johnson, Xavier Legette.
Okay. Well, here's my thing. If Mike Tomlin lets a receiver go, that's all you need to know about that. I think we know from experience. But let's get to our last thing, man. If we get you up out of here, man. The Chicago Bulls. I've said this on the show. I feel like this is a great time for Chicago sports if you're not owned by Jerry Reinsdorf. You got the Cubs. The Cubs are, even though the Cubs are entertaining to say the least. We can say that, maybe they should add a couple things. Maybe Jed Hoyer is penny pinching, but they're at least entertaining. They're in the race for the NL Central. Angel Reese has already taken over the city. Like they have their home opener even tomorrow. I done seen posters of her downtown. She's everywhere. The Sky getting some good momentum. Of course, the Blackhawks got Connor Bedard. They got the number 2 pick. They got things going. Of course, we just named the Bears. But everybody still loves, but we still love the Bulls. Bulls is a basketball town.
Right.
AK came out in his season-ending presser and said that, change is going to be made.
What does Mark Eversley do? What does Mark Eversley do?
West Side West is going to call him on the show. West Side West is going to be calling on the show.
Hey, man, you mess around and call him Detroit Pistons head of basketball operations.
Oh, they gave it to Trajan Langdon.
Yeah, they gave it to Buddy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They gave it to the Alaskan assassin.
Well, then, I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen. It's crazy. I walk around, I be hanging out, and people are like, hey, man, I hate to ask you, but, man, what the Bulls going to do, man? And I'm like, listen, if one person, I'll put it like this. When we talk about championships and sustainable success and all that, and I had this conversation on the Bulls Talk podcast with Tony and KC and everybody. You're only as good as your talent evaluators.
Yep.
That's it, man. That's it. Look at this Final Four that we watching. Indiana started that thing, you look at Tyrese, you look at Miles Turner, you look at they got a lot of, I love Ben Shepherd, they got a lot of nice little pieces. They started that thing by saying, hey, Karis LeVert, we appreciate that you can get 17 a game, but we're gonna have to get this thing rolling. And from there, they just started to take down the team. That was 2.5, 3 years ago, right? Look at what New York's doing right now. They just building a nest for everybody to be like, hey, it's finally okay to come play for New York, right? Atlanta. The Trae Young thing ain't working. It's time for us to move on. Cleveland, they fired JB Bickerstaff. They fired him because they're like, right. Apparently, we're supposed to be in the Eastern Conference Finals if we Cleveland, which is crazy to me, right? They got decisions to make, but they lured Donovan Mitchell there and they made it work. The Bulls, only team that did not make a move in the last 3 years of the trade deadline. They aren't a luxury tax team. You're getting ready to talk about teams now here with this new CBA that are going to get into that second apron of tax and be like, hey, man, we got to win. And then when you truly look around, hey, Minnesota put that thing. Hey, remember when people were laughing in this very city about the Rudy Gobert trade? And the Rudy Gobert rumors to this. Yeah. When Vooch was making jokes about having real estate in Salt Lake City and all that, right? Oh, how could you trade those picks for that's the Kevin Durant haul? Guess who's in the Western Conference
Who's
Finals?
in the West Conference Finals?
You know
Who's
why?
in the West Conference
You know
Finals?
why? Because you procured your picks and you like these the assets that we don't need anymore. I love when draft picks. I love when my team is like, hey, by the way, we just traded that to Charlotte. We don't need this shit. we don't need another 19-year-old. We
Right.
cool. Appreciate you. You know what I mean? You know, like, hey, go ahead and put Corey Benjamin's name in real quick so we can act like we care about this draft. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I know. I know exactly what you're talking
It's
about. Yeah.
those times.
Right. We
Mr.
watching like
Mr. Byron Houston era.
Man, I saw that dude in the NCAA tournament in the final game. He must be.
I know, buddy.
Right. So somebody just sit at the end of the bench. Like, you look at the talent evaluate. These teams don't get here by chance. Brad Stevens was like, hey, I'm gonna be a lot better if I pick these things. This dude down here can do this. Like the question is, do you trust the talent evaluator? That's it. That's it.
I don't trust one of them is working.
That's it. And if you do or you don't, look at the profile of the teams that are in play right now. Mike Conley is like the oldest player that matters.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't trust nothing over there. I don't trust either Uber lot over there. I don't trust nothing involving the Bulls.
I don't trust those new meniscus.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot riding on Lonzo still. After 2 years, where people are like, "Hey, let's make it seem, not make it seem, but let's go on like this ain't happening. This ain't going. Like the carrot on the stick was more important for Lonzo to get through his rehab and to just live a normal life again. Now, am I hoping that Lonzo Ball can play for the rest of his, promised career? Sure, but nobody's come back from that thing yet. And nobody's come back and done it. Like, yeah, people have tried to come back and then gone and seen that, hey, this NBA schedule wear and tear, this ain't gonna hold up. Am I wishing that he's the guy that breaks that spell, breaks that curse, breaks that streak? Yeah. But when I look at the team, there are a lot of pieces that don't fit, right? So this is the reason why you win 40 games or 39 games or 41, because you can win that many games with how talented they are. But then when the pieces don't fit on certain nights, or there's an ingredient that you haven't had on the team for a couple of years that keeps showing up, whether it's shooting, or whether it's a stable point guard in terms of like distribution and pace. Like, these things keep popping up and you can't or haven't addressed them sufficiently enough. And, you find yourself in a playing situation. And not one of those teams that think they can win the play-in situation and head to the playoffs and beat teams like Miami does every single year. And that has to come to an end too, right? Like, everybody got to start to rethink the way they put these teams together. And do you have an imaginative and trustworthy enough talent evaluator or staff to make that come to fruition? It remains to be seen. JB Bickerstaff. I mean, Wes Unseld Jr. is on the
joined the staff.
They got the other, my man, I forget, is it Dan Longshore or something like that? They brought another cat in there to help, because after a while, you're removing all the variables and it's like, all right, who is it?
Yeah.
Right? Like, because Billy Donovan ain't going nowhere.
Ain't Billy. It's Buddy up top. It's always, I think Charles Barkley said this. Like, I love to be GM. I get to fire 4 people before I get fired, man. So I'm going to see how all that's going to play out, man. I hope they give me something to at least be watchable. Because I'm a diehard Bulls fan, man. I hope that happens. But we're going to get you out of here, bro. We know you got a lot going on. Let the people know where they can get in tune with you.
I ain't got nothing going on. I gotta go to Africa and pick up my son. I'm not about
you sound like Bang. Bang, I ain't got nothing going on. I just got
I had to be a father today. That's right.
I gotta continue my day of being a family man.
I ain't got no kids, but to me, that's a lot going on.
I got 2 sleep, 1 downstairs playing NBA 2K. This is my time. This is my time.
Bang. I'm telling you, you want to hear what the lot going on is tonight? I gotta go pick my son up, right? We're gonna hang out, probably go to the movies, me, him, my lady, hang out for a little bit after that, and then put him to bed around 8:30. And then after that, it's a Friday night at the crib, which means murder mysteries, rolling up and having a drink.
Hey, Hey, Scott, you don't understand. That's a great night when it comes.
What?
It's
I've
an
been
amazing
looking
night.
forward to it since yesterday when I did the same thing.
Man, boy.
I want to bring Damien in.
What
real quick.
Damien that?
Yeah, because I'm cracking up because y'all talking about waiting to go pick up your kids. That's what I got 10 minutes before I got to go do the same.
Hey, I told this nigga I had to leave at 4:30. The next thing you know what I'm saying? And you don't want your baby to be the last one at the spot because then you look like that.
Feeling unloved.
This show sponsored by CP Time.
See, exactly. See, just because we ain't, getting landed in helicopters in the intro like you niggas don't mean
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This man got bulletproof trucks coming to pick him up in the intro, and I can't go get my baby.
Bang said he
can't go
could
be
be
a good
digitally
father.
imposed into the intro. He's going to be CGI'd into the intro.
Yeah, this Howard Book 8 happening on the intro, and I gotta go get my son. I'm the lame. You know what I mean? Yeah, hey, celebrate Black Fathers.
Celebrate Black. Shout out to y'all, all three of y'all Black fathers.
Celebrate Black fathers.
I aspire to be like y'all one day. Definitely.
Yeah. Shout out to child support too.
That's a whole nother segment.
Oh yeah, no, shit. Fuck it now. He waiting. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all, man. You can check out the pod Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, the full go. And yeah, man, we'll see where the rest lands. But we've been here before, and that ain't stopped us before. So I'm looking forward to what's next. Everybody running around the city like, what's wrong? What's happening? And I'm like, hey man, I'm cool. Trust me, I'm gonna be good.
Well,
play round ball rock in the background. Shit.
He's like, I'm good. I'm taking care of it. I don't know about
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Hey, shit. Hey, you know what I mean? I'll send you something.
About time a brother is good in these situations.
Exactly.
Hey, and this other thing too, man. Like I try to tell people all the time, like I got a chance to do TV 5 years ago because of Kevin Cross. He took a gamble on me and it paid off for him. And I had no expectations of doing that and even being in that space. So I've been a radio dude since I was 13 years old, right? So the podcast is definitely going to get more attention, and we're going to flesh that out some more. But yeah, man, whichever one you think was my side gig, I've enjoyed my side gig for a while.
Tell the Twitter haters, you have to continue to get upset.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen. They the reason my kid eat organic peanut butter. I'll be smooth, man.
Definitely, bro.
Love.
All right, y'all.
Damien, we apologize to you. Because I know you yelling at me. He's like, man, I gotta go.
The nigga be about being on time.
Yeah. That's the only nigga to be on. Like, I'm usually on the me and Damien on the same wave with that. But we got the homie Toasting in the building too. What's going on, brother?
Hey man, chilling. How's everyone doing? What's up, fellas?
Yeah, what's happening, man?
Doing good, man. Like I said, when Jason was on here, this show is sponsored by CP Time. I'm gonna give Damien the floor because I know
he gotta go with his kid.
He gotta go get his kid. But I want to talk about, as I've said before, I am an ally now. I've been watching a lot of WNBA. And yeah, this has been a long time coming. How many times have you tried to get me to go to a Sparks game at Compton Community College?
See, first off, it would be Long Beach when they get sent to the B Squad Stadium. For a good 7-8 years, I've been trying to get you to go, and you finally broke down, and I really believe this season you're gonna finally make it to a Sky game.
Oh, I'm gonna be there. Shout out my man Illy. Illy got the season tickets on deck. I will be at Wintrust. Yesterday I had the Sky Liberty game on the big screen TV, and I had the Eastern Conference Finals on the iPad.
Oh shit!
And I bet that happened as soon as they said Tyrese Halliburton left the game. You was like, whoa!
It was before that. It was before that. You gotta give me a little credit on that. But let's just get into it, man, because I know you got to roll. What do you think about, it's kind of like a multi-part question view, but I want to specifically talk about Angel Reese because I feel like she's found a perfect city. Like as far as like who embrace her, the crib is embracing her already. I've been downtown. I've seen She got almost as many billboards as Urlacher down there
And
right
she
now.
got blessed in as a vice lord.
And she got she got blessed in by the 5, which whatever.
Was it Kevin Garnett who did it?
No, she said 5-star Barbie, and I was like, the Lord's got her.
That was it.
I was like, and then she went to Jerk Villa. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Yeah, she one of them, man. Like, come on, man. Like, we're gonna let her slide. But anyway, what do you think about like the love she's been getting, the potential of this team? Big win last night, undefeated Liberty, and they're gonna be getting Cardozo back on the first when they go to Indianapolis play the Fever. What you think about really just everything going on with Angel in the sky?
I think Angel's just a star. I mean, I honestly think like no matter what team she went to, like she would have turned them around just because the personality. You can tell all her teammates fuck with her. She showed love to all her teammates. She brought the whole team out when they invited her to the Meg Thee Stallion and Glow concert. She brought the whole squad with her. What she was doing at LSU is the same thing. Like whenever she got deals, she passed it on to the team. So they gonna love her for that. She plays hard, she hustles, plays tough defense. And that energy just feeds throughout the team. So you see that with every game that she play, and she's producing. I mean, everyone's talked about her offensive game, but for a rookie, and she's averaging, I want to say like 13 and 8 right now. So, like you said, she's just a star. Like, ain't nothing else you could say about it. And all the celebrities fuck with her. Like, she don't even be thirsty for the celebrity attention. The celebrities be coming to her. Like, we fuck with you. So it's beautiful to see.
Which the homie Illy said he's taking a victory lap because he said on this show that the stars didn't show up when he went on his rant, and niggas was like, does he even watch WNBA? But yeah, Illy like the Scott Spike Lee. Like, like he know what he's talking about. Lotto pulled up to the Dallas game. And even with the preseason game, all the Bears pulled up. I think there's gonna be a lot of people at the home open tomorrow. So I just think it's a good mix for everything, man. And she been outside.
It's gonna be a wrap when she's in the corporate Chicago skit video on YouTube. It's gonna be a wrap.
But then that requires for her to go to the South Side.
Hey, it's gonna work for her. She's good everywhere now.
I hope so. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if you over there messing with the Lord, you gotta come.
It's Vice Lords I saw.
It's okay. That's like saying that's like when you see Crips in the Blood Hood. Like, it's not a lot.
Hey man, we had a reputable Chicago media guest on the show. We cannot get into that conversation.
Turning into old summer sessions already.
Yeah, right, old summer sessions already. Exactly. But David, man, what you think about really with? I feel like we're gonna get to this later, but what is your take on the Caitlin Clark comment? I kind of feel like both sides
over that shit.
Both sides are arguing different things now at this point. Like, you said this, no, you said that.
They just want to argue now. It's to the point where like they're not even really listening to what the other side is saying. They just want to argue.
Yeah.
Like there was a player for the Sky today that asked a question about like where she can get some pasta from, and the response is, "Why y'all hating on Caitlin Clark? She doing everything for the league." She like, the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, I'm just hungry.
I just want some pasta.
So like the Caitlin Clark side, they swear every comment that's about the WNBA, where they have a real legit question, is someone hating on Caitlin Clark. And like, that's just old, and it's not productive. It's not productive because instead of having like real conversations about the league, they just start arguing about viewership. It's the same tired talking points. They'll talk about viewership. No one cared about the league until Caitlin Clark came in, which ain't true, but that's what they running with. And then it just derails every potential for a productive conversation you could have about the league. And it's just old.
Yeah, it's definitely old to the point where it's like, what are we really even debating now? And to me, it's like the gift and the curse if you've been like a long time WNBA fan, because you got niggas like me watching it now, and then you got Charles Barkley. First of all, last year Charles Barkley is going to be amazing television. Like, this,
they gonna actually have to have that censor button ready.
When he said these women, my heart almost stopped. I was like, what is he about to say?
Right.
And
these little girls
like
and
yeah. If I was like that, I can only imagine what the production truck was like. Like,
Right.
you know, I can only imagine they would eat. Draymond looked like he saw a ghost. And Draymond
Yeah.
looked like that. And, you know,
Draymond was terrified.
I don't know how much longer you got before you got to bounce, but I wanted you to get your Ducade out on Jason Tatum because you know
Fraud.
Carolina.
Like I said in the chat, biggest comment since Hustle, man. That nigga just looks sweet, wears a uniform nice, and got that good hair, and people all of a sudden swear he cold.
God damn.
You say he run around like he pot?
Yeah, he got the little pretty boy shit. Like that shit over. Like the real nigga is a dark-skinned brother, Jalen. That's the real dog on that team.
His braids ain't grown like 3 years, but like we respect him.
His braids is on Jerry Rice Seahawks status. They looking pretty bad right now.
Yeah, remember when Jerry Rice was on the Denver Broncos, nigga?
Yeah.
Didn't he have braids on the Broncos too? Them joints is like
the Raiders, Seahawks, and Broncos.
Yeah.
The last 3 stops.
Them things was start behind his ears.
Just nasty work, bro. Yeah, Tatum, the light skinned society is going out pretty sad right now. It all started with Drake. Starting the L. Like I said, me and Steph got to call a board meeting. What's going on? Like it's
Jamal Murray got booted. Devin Booker gone. Halliburton hurt. Tatum a fraud.
I'm sick and tired of Jason Tatum, man. But anything you want to go over, Damian, before we get you out of here? Like I said, my fault for for running over.
Nah, just get me on next time when I got more time so we can go throughout the whole league.
Come over on Wednesday. Come on the show Wednesday for halftime.
All right, bet.
And we can do that because there'll be no show on Monday because there will be alcohol in this cup and not water on Monday. So, but we're gonna let you be a father.
Yes, sir.
And do your thing, bro.
All right, y'all. Y'all take care.
All right, G.
Easy.
All right.
Tosin, what's going on, bro? First of all, man.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. If y'all not in tune with this brother, y'all need to get in tune with him, man. Y'all can follow him on Twitter at TSNMKND on Twitter. You got your host of the Shirtless Plantain Show, man. Y'all doing your thing. I'm in the last conversation we had when I was in New York. One of the sober conversations we had because niggas was fucked up in New York. Well, the sober conversations we had, we was talking about the content, man. I'm glad to see you really just pumping out the content. Every time I open up the gram, I see you got a new reel up. I'm like, yeah, let's keep that going. Tell the people who are not in tune with what you going on, like what is the Shirtless Plantain Show and everything you doing, to put people on, people who are already soccer fans or, if my bad, football fans, and people who aren't.
You can call it soccer, but I don't care. They ain't gonna beat me up because they can't. that's the first thing. You ain't gonna beat us up. But nah, I mean, I was, obviously, as most people who know me know, I was born and raised in London. I moved to America when I was 11. So, growing up here in America, like nobody wanted to be friends with a black kid that only watched soccer. So I had to like grow up and watch other shit. So I was like, that's how I became a Ravens fan. That's how I became a fan of the Orioles and like other things like that. So I played soccer in the USU system. I grew up here, played won nationals, whatever. My brother went pro, my cousin went pro, and unfortunately I didn't go pro. But what we do with the Shirtless Plantain Show is basically we try to take our Nigerian culture and our American heritage. And my boys from London, so we try to take all of that and like show you guys this is how we watch soccer from our perspective and our lens. It's a lot of jokes, a lot of humor, but we also like know the game like really well. So that's kind of what we do, try to blend our expertise and our like humor and like try to show you guys like this is how we watch the sport. So, and this shit doesn't stop, man. Like we got a May night at my team. They play tomorrow in the final, and then like 2 weeks from now we got Copa America, we got Euro. So like there's really never a break in soccer. Like there's always something going
always
on.
Some.
Always.
We have a question from the chat. This is, are you a Man U fan, brother?
I mean, look at the jersey right there. Yeah, I've been a United fan since 1995. So it's been a long time since I've been a United fan. Unfortunately for me, we're bad right now, but it is what it is.
Shout out to man Jay Hood in the show. It's a culture that's why. You know what we doing, Jay Hood? That's what we do. That's what we doing out here.
And according to Ancestry.com, I am mostly Nigerian, so I feel you, brother.
Listen, we all black at the end of the day. Cop gonna stop us. They gonna like, oh, these some niggas. So we all black at the end of the day. So
you say you Nigerian out west.
Yeah, I am Nigerian and out west.
Nigerian. And by the way, anybody who's watched the last show, we apologize for my cousin. Like I said, the views and thoughts. Nigga said.
Yo. Scott, I got
Go-
something to say about Angel Reese, by the way. I had
Go
to
ahead.
think about her. So
Even though she's part of the city now, and we got to low key
Yeah.
protected, but go ahead.
Angel Reese is literally from the same exact part of Baltimore I'm from. Like
Okay.
we're from the same, like she's from the same part. So when I see her act the way she does, that's literally who she is. Like she's just everything she does, the way she plays, she's literally exactly what she is. So she's a super talented girl. Very proud to see somebody from the crib like doing well. So shout out to Angel Reese.
Shout out to Angel Reese.
And Scott, that exact match is 37% Nigerian.
Okay, 37. Okay.
Now his nose.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you. By the way, I'm gonna need London restaurant what's it called recommendations. I'll be there for that Bears Jaguars game in October. It'll be my first time out of the country. So I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be a good time. But let's actually talk about Angel Reese's tweet that she put up, which got deleted, and I knew it was gonna get deleted when she tweeted that. She was feeling herself. They was probably on that charter flight. She's feeling good. Like we just knocked these niggas out. She tweeted last night, and that's on getting a win in caps in the packed arena, not just because one player on a charter flight with a kiss emoji. Hashtag Skytown. Now, a lot of people, she talking about Caitlin Clark. People with brains knew that she was talking about Charles Barkley. And what he just said on Inside the NBA about that. And my whole thing with this, with the entire thing, we can kind of tie this up with just the Caitlin thing in general, is we've missed the plot here. We've missed the plot of what this original debate was. I feel like you got people who are on the side of you hating on Caitlin Clark. You're acting like there were actual players or actual women media members who said these things. And then you got people who are on that side who act like we're saying that you should take it easy on her. My whole take is somebody who I said who's new to the WNBA viewership and conversation. Is Caitlin Clark one of the main reasons I'm watching? Yes, she's not the full reason. I think this is a very talented rookie class. I think they're going to get even better in the next couple of years. You got Paige Buchers coming out. You got Juju Watkins eventually is going to come out. So, but I do believe that it has part to do with the way that she's like the magic bird of this thing, unfortunately, right now. Like you got to look at the WNBA as how the NBA was when Magic and Bird was coming in. Don't compare them to how the NBA is now. So I do think there's a little bit of a double standard to it. We need to get back to the plot of what we're arguing. I think both sides need to understand that each side is right about something. Some people are doing too much, saying, "Oh, you should let her score," which is asinine, by the way. You should let her score because it makes the league look better. But also, there is some legitimate hate out there. There's some people out there. There's some media members. Who obviously, I'm not going to name names. Who be pandering sometimes. Well, what about this? What about that? Like, we need to come to actual conclusion about this. And I don't think it's going to stop. I think it's going to keep going on and on until either Caitlin says something or she just starts eventually cooking. The actual tweet, I probably wouldn't have tweeted that. She obviously deleted it. But what did you think about the tweet and just the overall Caitlin conversation in general? Just kind of like, going out of control.
Man, this shit it's just tiring. It's like these are some very, very talented women. I think that everybody's just doing too much on a lot of sides. But again, it's just listen to the experts and the people who generally know the WNBA. I think that's the number one thing right there is like when there's a lot of eyes on the WNBA, there's going to be a lot of people who don't know what the hell they're talking about. And it's just like, just listen to the people who are experts. This is really it. Like, you don't have to always opine on something and like feel like you know what you're talking about. There's people who have been watching this sport and watching this league for the longest time, and they're the ones who you should be listening to and not trying to bring some like silly divide. So yeah, it is what it is. And like I said, with Angel Reese, like I said, she's from a specific part of Baltimore, so that's just how she is. She plays like the way like somebody who's from where we are. So I get.
I have a question for you about the Baltimore thing. Baltimore is not considered part of the DMV. I've been hearing mixed messages about it. It's not.
No.
Okay, why is that?
First of all, Baltimore's not even in Maryland. Baltimore's in Baltimore. Okay, right. We are our own shit.
Baltimore, Chicago.
Chicago's not Illinois. Chicago is the state.
So DMV is basically like the area surrounding DC, right? So you got Northern Virginia, then you got like DC proper, and then you got like Prince George's County, and then you got some people, depending on who you ask, is Montgomery County. So, that's the areas, and like I get it. Like people hear DMV is Maryland, like it's that part where their numbers 301 or 240, and they say Mo and Sice and like you Jai Wild and Mo, things like that. We don't talk like that in Baltimore. We don't. Okay, so Same.
Call people dummies.
Hey, Bang,
Yeah.
this low key Baltimore week on the pod. We had the homie Rita on here on Monday. Yeah. And Bang asked her to say 2 on the show.
Yeah.
Boy.
Avenue, Doug, mother, all of that.
Man, boy. That's just so. Just like I get made fun of by not putting R's on my shit.
Yeah,
when
we
y'all
say
say
Ka.
2, I was like, man, yo, wow.
Yeah, well, Chicago niggas, y'all are country. That's basically what y'all are.
Mississippi niggas with coats.
Yeah.
That's what we are. Mississippi niggas with coats. Everybody family out here is from some part of the South. But Bang, what you think about, the Angel Reese thing and the Caitlyn thing? We were kind of talking about this off air about where I think I told you yesterday, like we're people arguing different things now.
And I agree with you. Totally. You do have. I don't think what you said was wrong at all. I'll just add to it. And what I'll add to it is that the WNBA fans need to understand that this is just new for everybody. And since it's new, a lot of the shit that you see that happens in other sports is going to happen here. Go look up clips of Wilt Chamberlain talking about Michael Jordan. It's like he hated that nigga. Why? Because he felt like he was the greatest of all time. Why is you talking about this little dude? Bill Russell got more rings than him. Why is he the best? Why is he the greatest? Because he's a winner and all that shit. As things evolve, there's going to be people that are upset about the evolution. And that is what it is. Yes, there have been people in the WNBA who are amazing players. To me, like one example of one person that don't get talked about a lot for various reasons, like Elena Delle Donne. I remember when Elena Delle Donne came out of college, or even before college, she had transferred, went to Delaware. A lot of people was wondering about her mental health and all of that stuff.
She's one who forced her way out of Chicago, right?
Yep. And then she got here and just shit didn't work out. She ended up playing for the Mystics and stuff, but she was cold as hell, and people was thinking that she was next and thinking that she would elevate the game. And to a point, she did. She did. Aaliyah Boston elevate the game. They was wondering about who's gonna get a shoe and why people are not getting shoes, even though you gotta have long conversations and planning and all of that stuff. But this could go all the way to when, as I said last week, the ABL was the first women's league in years. And then the WNBA was like, yo, we're about to do that too, but we're bigger. So you had a number of those women that was in the 1996 Olympic team, which in my eyes was the first team that really boosted up women's basketball. Similar to how
Martin.
Similar to how women's soccer ended up being. So you just thought that this was going to carry over. Then the WNBA came, and then the woman who nobody talked about ended up being, if you look at the past, the greatest player in the WNBA at that time is Cynthia Cooper. They thought Cheryl Swoops, who ended up getting pregnant, they thought Cheryl Swoops was going to be the person that blows up the WNBA. Tina Thompson was a legendary name. It ended up being Cynthia Cooper. And it led them to 4 straight championships. But then who are the people that are going to replace them? Diana Taurasi is another one. Sue Bird is another one. They're going to elevate, and they did elevate the game. But it's still evolution that needs to happen. Yeah. So people who are upset that Caitlin Clark is the evolution, that's where the hating is at. You want it to be you. It's just not you. And is complexion a part of it? Yes. Yes.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Just like it was with Larry Bird. I pointed out in the early 80s, like late 70s, early 80s, before Larry Bird was drafted, or right when he was drafted, there was white people who said that they were tuning out of the NBA because there was nobody on the court that looked like
blacks.
It's too many blacks, basically. So now you have somebody like Caitlin Clark who is also good. She's the evolution of the Sue Birds, the Diana Taurasi's, the Elena Delle Dons. And she's the evolution of that because now it is more television in front of her. It's more social media and all of that stuff. So she is going to capitalize off of that. And wherever she goes is going to capitalize on that. At the same time, though, for anybody that's bitching and moaning, complaining about what goes on the court, now that really, y'all need to shut up on that. What Diana Taurasi said was correct. She gonna have growing pains when she get up here, and we ain't letting her get shit. She gonna have to work for it. And as long as she do what she do, as long as she work for it, guess what? Them ratings gonna go up because now they're gonna want to see her versus Diana Taurasi. They're gonna want to see her versus the Las Vegas Aces. They're gonna want to see her versus the bigger markets, New York Liberty. They're gonna want to do that because eventually, what's gonna happen is if she sees immediate success and there's no challenges, guess what's gonna happen? They gonna tune out. They're going to look for somebody else. So it is incumbent on what has been happening is anytime that she plays a team, they play her like it is the WNBA finals because it's also going to look good for them too. So everybody's arguing different points, but everybody has to understand that everybody can be right. And I think in this situation, everybody has good points, except for the people who are just so pro Caitlin Clark that they feel like you got to let her shoot 10 threes in this game. And everybody who is so against her because of her complexion. It is what it is, Jack. It's the same way with Tiger Woods. When Tiger Woods came through and got into golf, a lot more black people started watching golf, didn't it? A lot more of us ended up on those golf courses, right? And that didn't change until his ass was like, yo, I'm combination. And they was like, up, buddy ass tweaking. So we gonna go in another direction.
Did Bane just ask for nuance in 2024?
It's never gonna happen, but yes, the fuck I did.
Yes, I did. Actual conversation on social media. It's never gonna happen. I saw somebody say that. What was the other day? Somebody said about Caitlin Clark. Why'd I get an update about her first basket after the first game? I'm like, well, when Jackson Holiday got his first hit in Major League Baseball, you got one. When Caleb gets his first touchdown, you're gonna get one of them. So that's just how it is with the phenoms. But let's get into some basketball, man. I have said that I am done with the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I just saw an alert on my TV. Says Tyrese Halliburton questionable for them all. I mean, Scott Lewis is questionable for them all. I watched like 10 minutes of that game yesterday. It's just I'm at the point right now that I don't know how good the Celtics are because they ain't really like, and I don't want to be the guy where you play who you play in front of you, but it hasn't really been. It's been dominant, but not dominant. And I think it's also because Jason Tatum, who is my new mortal enemy, he's not doing enough, in my personal opinion. I don't need to be seeing Jaylen Brown bail you out in game one, which they should have won. Jaylen Brown and Tyrese Halliburton bailed them out. Because Tyrese Halliburton would have just inbounded the ball like somebody with a brain. It'd be a 1-1 series right now. And then you got Jaylen Brown go 40 last night. You want to see that from Jason Tatum. But it's like, if you don't have how Halliburton is, there's no point of watching it. And you're not even going to get their first real I guess competition to the NBA Finals. And I think that could be a tricky thing because you don't want to get your first taste of a battle when the championship's on the line, whether it's Minnesota or it's Dallas. Both of those teams are better defensively than anybody they face. You got my man Jason Tatum going to have to actually, play defense and score if you're going up against Luka and Kyrie, and especially like an Anthony Edwards. So what do you think from what you've seen from the Celtics in this run and this particular series in general? Like, what's your takes from it?
I mean, they're a good team, right? But it's just they're just missing something. I don't know if it's Joe Mazzarella. I'm not gonna call him Joe Mazzarella. I'm calling Joe Mazzarella. I don't know if it's like the way he coaches, but it's just something that just feels like it's missing. Like yesterday, I swear to you, I had the game on, right? And I was about to go watch Insecure again. I was like, yo, this is such a boring series. Like I was like, yo, I'm really about to watch Insecure. Because
I want to see Daniel. I want to see Jaylen Brown on HBO.
Yeah, I want to see him in where he originally was in when he was with Issa.
Right, exactly. Before he got drafted to the Celtics.
Yeah, before he got neck braids. But it's just like, yo, I'm there's something missing with that team, right? And I know Jason's talented. I think Jason's one of the best players in the league when he wants to be. But like a lot of times he doesn't show it, and it's just like, yo, what's missing here? I don't know if it's like if they need Kristaps back, but relying on Al Horford, like Al Horford has bailed him out a few times in the playoffs. It's like, yo, there's only about so much this like empanada can help you all out, man. Like I love Al Horford. I think he's great. I think he's had a great career, but bro, he's 37 now. It's just like, what can we do? So I think the talent is there, but if they go against either one of those two in the West, it's
gonna be a problem.
It's not gonna be
a problem because I even think, and we're gonna get in the West Conference. I think the Wolves got a problem. Like from what I was watching a couple days ago, I think just everybody just wants Jason Tatum to have that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like I tweeted yesterday where I took that line from Drake. Like Tatum just opened his mouth. Somebody hand him an MVP right now because that's how they talk about that nigga. Like anything he says, he's one of the best players in the league. Like he should be in the conversation. Like there's no reason when you look at the final MVP ballot that he's 6. Like if he used the skills he has, he should be in the finalists. Like I like Jalen Brunson, but let's be real. We should not be looking at Jalen Brunson in a better light than we look at Jason Tatum. And by Jason Tatum, it's actually success has kind of been the curse for him a little bit, the gift and the curse, because he's 25. Any other regular 25-year-old, we're not judging the way we judge Tatum. But he's been in the playoffs every year. He's been to like 6 Eastern Conference Finals. And when you come off a failure like they did last year, they had no business. Much as I love Jimmy Butler, they had no business losing to the Miami Heat. And with this thing right now, I think we're waiting to see the dominance. And they were so dominant during the regular season, and we haven't seen it in the playoffs. I think that's what's stopping everybody from fully crowning them. Bang, what you think about what you've seen from the Celtics over these, this run and in this series in particular?
That shit's over right now. What's going on like this? I'm so disappointed because I said that series was gonna go 7.
Yeah, I knew you was tripping when you said that.
But I thought that they were gonna be more competitive. And when you have, in my opinion, the best coach in the playoffs, I think that's half of the battle. Also, again, Boston be shitting the bed sometimes. They shat the bed the first game. I text y'all.
You got Mozzarella over Rick Carlisle?
No, I said Rick Carlisle is the best coach. I said I said the Pacers got the best coach. So remember, I said mozzarella. Since we doing that, I said that nigga loves playing the town. How many times we heard ESPN reporters you playing the town for these niggas? Like, I like that movie too, but come on, bro. That movie ain't that damn good. But yeah, he shits the bed sometimes. It just so happens in game 1, the Pacers had it. And I watched the end of that game. That was one of the most epic choke jobs that I've ever seen in my life because it seemed like these Margs went limp. When you saw Halliburton rush the ball up the court, throw the ball, folks I've never seen players get so nervous since Chris Webber called the timeout. That's what I equate that game to.
God damn,
go watch that. Go watch that final minute in regulation.
I hate Chris Webber. I've watched that more times than you can imagine.
I'm talking about for the Pacers. The way they just went nervous. The only game I can equate it to is Chris Webber traveling before he gets to the other half of the court.
From the other end of the court, and Halliburton sitting right here, next to Newhart.
And you fumble the ball. I was watching that game because remember, I text y'all in the group. Like I told y'all they was gonna get it.
Yep.
And about time I hit enter, I was wrong.
You said that, I'm like, nah, these niggas gonna trick off.
And they tricked it off. So that series was over right there. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, and maybe I'm in the minority, but I don't think Halliburton's hamstring is that damn bad. I think he's shot. I think this is shot, my boy.
And I think true, man. Get him out the NBA right now, dog.
And that's also why I think Rick Carlisle was like, man, let me get these niggas out the game right now. It is a wrap. He know it's a wrap. So why are we gonna go ahead and let's just go ahead and get this out the way? He know that his team is shot, and he know unless he wins game 3, shit's a wrap. So
I have a question for you, Bang.
Yeah.
Why do the Pacers keep wearing their yellow uniforms, bro?
Yeah, them niggas ain't switched one time.
I didn't think about that shit. You just said it. I
got
don't remember them wearing white.
Not one time, bro. They wearing it home and on the road, G. Like,
I just thought about this shit when you said it. They ain't wear white at all at home.
Not one time, G.
And the thing that bothers me the most about the NBA, this is gonna be like, I just how I know I'm becoming an old nigga. Like,
we might be on the same page.
I don't understand why teams are going away and wearing their wearing white.
I'm with you. We used to be kings. We're white at home. We're dark on the road.
I saw the Knicks wearing like dark blue at home. Like, yo, you're an MSG. Like, what are we doing here?
You know when that
Speedy Edition court. That's when I knew they was gonna lose.
You knew when shit was different for me when the Bulls was in the playoffs and they didn't wear black socks. I said, what the fuck is going on?
That's tradition, bro.
What we doing? This tradition
you
here.
have to wear the black socks, bro. That's the Jordan Pippen thing. You got
Mike was like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Mike wasn't watching. Mike was drinking whatever he was drinking.
He probably made a bet and then put it back.
Yeah,
he made a bet and put it back because he saw the black socks. But no, I just noticed that until you said it.
Yeah. It's weird. And also, Ben Shepherd has the same mustache as a cop. he look like a state trooper. It's been bothering me every time I see that man on the court. I'm like, yo, why do you look like a state trooper right now?
He do like a state trooper.
It bothers me so much. Like, it shouldn't bother me that much, but that mustache bothers me so much.
State troopers be bored, man. Like nigga, get out of here. They be full fit. Pull up in the Andy Griffith car. Like, it always be them niggas super decked out. Like, you
with the hat and all the glasses.
Like, excuse me, sheriff. Like, get out of here.
But I think Halliburton is shot. I truly think he's shot.
If that's the case, man, he's super soft for that.
You'll see game 3. If he comes out game 3,
I will not be seeing game 3.
I'm just saying. I know you're not gonna watch.
I'll be watching Dune 2 tomorrow.
When you get the alert on ESPN that this nigga is like 3 for 11, shot. It's a wrap.
And my last thing is, I can't. Every time I see Siakam, I think about that tweet about somebody saying how would E40 say his name. I can't get it out of my head. Every time that tweet just plays in my head. I'm just like, yo, how does somebody got to get E40 to say Pascal Siakam's name? Just
that would be hilarious. There's one tweet that I can't get out of my mind that I saw. We'll get into it later about the Lakers coaching search. But I saw the update said Brian Windhor says that not Brian Wisham says that JJ Redick should be the favorite. And I was like, man, somebody said that Jeannie Buss taking over the Lakers is like if Shiv Roy would have won control of Waystar. And I'm like, that is spot on. That is so spot on. That's exactly how the Lakers have been. But we'll get into them niggas in a minute. But Western Conference Finals game 2 starts in about 2 hours, man, in Minnesota. Wolves dropped game 1. I'm still going Wolves in 6. I don't feel as confident about that anymore because what I said on Monday happened. I said if Kyrie plays like Kyrie, it changes things. Kyrie wasn't Kyrie in the last round. I don't know if he was being intentionally giving more to Luka. I don't know, but he wasn't the Kyrie that we all know. But in game 1, he took it personally when Anthony Edwards said, "Oh yeah, I got Kyrie." He's like, "Oh, okay, nigga, right. Watch what I do." And
he brought the Wallabies to play. He playing some damn Visbims. That's what he played in. John Mayer shoes. That's what he wore.
John Mayer shoes. He pulled up with a tie and a shirt, looking like Michael Scott. But let's talk about Kyrie's kind of, I think, reminder to him, man, because we remember like a little over a year ago, Kyrie was not, America's favorite, I guess you want to call. We had the way how he's been forcing himself out of teams ever since he left Cleveland. He's had a problem with every team he's been on. Of course, we know the vaccine situation and things like that. But then, even when he got traded to Dallas, a lot of people weren't happy about that trade. I don't see how that's going to work. I was actually at Kyrie's first game as a Maverick, and we were in the media room, and that was actually the same day KD got traded. Shout out my boy Thomas with the thirsty question, which was still funny as hell. Kyrie literally sat down, and Thomas was like, "So what you think about KD getting traded?" Kyrie looked at him like, "Can you ask about the game? Like, it's the first game. You asked me about KD." But I feel like this year he's been quiet. We haven't heard any rumors about anything. I feel like he's finally found a home in Dallas. He has been more of a leader. He's been even telling the media about stuff he's been doing, taking more of a leader role. Him and Luka have an actual partnership, and he's just been reminding people how great of a player he is. Like, if you want to go off skill, he's one of the best point guards of all time. He has the biggest shot in Cleveland sports history, top 5, top 10 shot in NBA history, just because of the importance of what it meant. But Tosin, what do you think from things you've seen from Kyrie? You think the public kind of forgot just how good he is, and how can his play, being the Kyrie of old, take them to have a chance to win their second franchise championship?
Honestly, Kyrie is top 5 point guards to ever do it. That guy's amazing. Like, when Kyrie's on his game, it's beautiful to watch. I remember that game winner he scored. I was like, yo, you're just too good at this sport. And I just think that he's finally clicking. He found himself a good place where, like, he doesn't, he's not making us more, he's not making noise, and the media's not really focused on him. And I think he kind of realized, this is Luka's team. I'm here to compliment Luka, and it just works. Like, the tandem works together, and just when Kyrie needs to be Kyrie, he shows up. But it just works. Like, literally, I didn't think it was gonna work too well with those two, but it has been a perfect match between Kyrie and Luka, and Luka's a problem, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, Kyrie's finally becoming, like, not finally, like, he should remind everybody, like, I am who I am, and I'm very good at what I do, and don't play on my name. That's really all he's telling everybody. It's like, I am that guy, and I've been that guy, and this is just me reminding you of that.
Yep. Bang, what you think about what you think from Kyrie?
Hey, man, as I said before, if Luka is who Luka say is, this should go 7. If Kyrie is who Kyrie is, this should go 7. My only concern was the front court size. But then I watched that game and I said, I know it can be an adjustment made, but Gafford and Lively shouldn't have been catching as many lobs as they was. They shouldn't have been as active as they was. They should have been knocked on their ass a little bit. And that started to happen towards the end of the second half. I mean, towards the end of the third quarter into the second half. That started to happen where you start seeing the front court get just a little bit aggressive. But the speed of Dallas is what I think is going to be helpful for them. And Kyrie is a major part of that that speed. But also, when it comes to greats like Kyrie, you don't want to piss him off. And he got pissed off. And I don't think Kyrie needed to be wakened up. He's not one of those players that need to be wakened up. But he's definitely somebody that you don't want to give bulletin board potential to. If we think of Kyrie how we think of Kyrie, Kyrie is one of those people that you don't want to say, I'm coming for you, nigga. Like, yeah. You don't want to Booker T Hulk Hogan this. And that's what Anthony Edwards did. So now let's see what Anthony Edwards is made of. See, the thing is with this whole situation, which why I think this was the best thing that happened to Kyrie in quite some time, is Kyrie comes from the cloth of Kobe Bryant. That's what he built. He's the original Kobe disciple.
He's not Tatum.
Yeah, he's not Tatum.
He told Kobe to your face, I will cook you.
Right. He's that guy. So when you look at what the thing with LeBron, part of it is that buddy ass want to just do this shit on his own.
Ain't not only that, it was trying to make LeBron like that was his daddy or something. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, no, I want to do this shit. He my dad. I'm about to do this shit on my own. And you know what? Didn't work out. Now I don't know if you remember, but him and LeBron had a good conversation where he was like, you know what, Bron, you were right. I was wrong. So now what you say, Scott, he's been very complimentary with Luka. Because Luka's LeBron in this situation, which is proven that if you put Kyrie in the right situation, because I don't think the KD thing was the right situation, because he thought they was 1A and 1B.
Yeah, because KD will let him like be and 1B.
Right, yeah. He's gonna let him be 1B. He came in there knowing what the team was, and then knowing that, I think while he is the Robin to Luka's Batman, because he's that,
he's the closer.
Right. He can be much better at being who he is when he truly know that the top dog is right there. So in a sense, he could be the dude that pulls the strings and still be able to give you everything that you need. And that's scary.
To me, they mesh well, because to me, it's the best duo we've seen. I feel like that's meshed as well, probably since Steph, KD, which that it meshed perfectly. Kobe and Shaq meshed perfectly, like, because Shaq would dominate the whole game in the fourth quarter. Kobe, like, all right, it's time to close them out. But the thing that's great about Luka and Kyrie, they both are closers. Like game one, like Kyrie did the dirty work in game one. Luka like, all right, I'm finna send these little young niggas home. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Jump on Jaden McDaniels and like just doing stuff like that. But when we talk about Luka, I'm glad you made a LeBron comparison because I don't think people really appreciate what Luka's doing right now. Number one, Luka's been locking up this postseason. I don't know if you've been paying attention.
He's been playing good defense.
He's been he used to not play anything. So this to come from that to what he's playing right now. And we talked about the numbers with the contracts. He can be up for like what a $400 million once the new deal kick in. He's made all NBA all 5-6 seasons of his career.
That's
crazy. Yeah, exactly. And he's so young too. And this is a moment right here for him when people are talking about legacy. Like Kyrie's legacy is good. He's got a championship, biggest shot in Cleveland sports history. This to me is Luka's, I want to say, coming out party because they went to the Western Conference Final 2 years ago. But come on, we know Golden State was finna mash them. Like nobody really took that like too much of actual threat. This to have a legit shot to get to the finals. And we talk about as far as what he can do. If Luka and Kyrie stay the way they've been staying, and they're gonna start hitting threes. They're not gonna be missing threes like they missed in game one. It's gonna be a problem. Tosin, you say you had something to say about Luka. Tell me what you're thinking about Mr. Doncic.
That man, when he plays ball, right? Sometimes I'm just like, this feels racist.
Yeah,
I'm like, this shouldn't be allowed. Okay, This feels like Jim Crow era, but he's so nice, man. Like Luka, it's like Luka gets in this mode where he just wants to do shit that's more difficult for no reason. Like you remember the other day in game one where like he leaned in for the three. I'm like, what are you doing? Like that doesn't make any sense. But he's got a really complete game, man, and he's a talented dude, and it's scary to think that he's 25. Like he's 25 years old. Like you think Luka's like about to approach 30. He's like, no, he's just mid-20s. Yeah. And by his contract, he's eligible like 346 mil. And like his last year, that contract was $78 million. So
Jesus.
Yeah, that's absurd numbers. But yeah, Luka's like that. He's nasty. And the Mavericks won that trade. Sorry, Atlanta.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I need to. I said this last year. Matt and Hawks fans killed me. I tweeted the Cat Wheels video. There's a difference between a Phantom and a Chrysler 300, and that's what this situation is. You think it looks alike until an actual Phantom pulls up. Everybody was well. Trae Young made the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, he made the Eastern Conference Finals the year that Giannis almost broke his leg. Like, and I know injuries happen, but it's not the same thing. And if you watch basketball, them two players ain't the same. As Alex said, so ridiculous how 3 teams passed him in the draft knowing he legendary. I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the people who didn't know if he was gonna be this great in the league. Shout out to homie Pappy. Pappy was like, nah, this motherfucker gonna be cold. And I was like, I don't know. Let's just say I was impressed very, very quickly. That was during that time period where the Bulls kept getting 7th pick. And we could have got him or a Zion Williamson, but we got Wendell Carter Jr. But whatever, I'm not going to go down that road again. For the night, man, as far as adjustments, we're going to give our picks here. I think what the Wolves need to do, the adjustment for the Wolves is Karl Anthony Towns. The Malik Sealy jersey was dope. I love it. Stop shooting 9 threes. Put your big ass in the post. Stop shooting 9 threes. It's infuriating. This might be the old head in me when I see big guys shoot 9 threes. I understand you the best 3-point shooting big in the league. You won the 3-point shooting contest a couple years ago. Stop that. I can't be doing that. But more than anything, it looked like Anthony Edwards was tired. So hopefully he has a little more pep in the step. We like Ant, so we are letting the fact that his last 2-3 games have not really been that good going to the radar. So I want to see one of those Anthony Edwards performances. But I've been very impressed with what I've seen from Jaden McDaniels. They have KD, but we got Jaden McDaniels as the quarter of the year now. We all laughed at it, and it became prophecy. But as far as I think everything else, they were good from 3. I think they'll continue to be good from 3. But if Cat brings the 3-point attempts down, and we get more aggressive Anthony Edwards, I believe they'll win this one. So I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas wins tonight. And if Dallas wins tonight, the series is over. But I'm gonna go with Minnesota. I think Minnesota squeaks out a dub, and it's gonna be 1-1. Bang, how you see tonight going?
I got Dallas.
Mm.
I got Dallas. I'm looking at this series. It's just as similar as what we got through watching with Denver. I got Dallas because you made Kyrie mad. Like simple, man. You don't poke the bear. No matter how good you are, you don't poke the bear. They poked the bear. So even though I still think it's going 7, you poked the bear, and that bear is Kyrie. And he's about if Kyrie is who we think he is about to let Anthony Edwards know you still a little nigga, fam. You on the way.
You on the way.
You on the way.
But you ain't here yet.
You ain't here yet. And you know who's also very who wants to be a willing participant in this? Luka. Because Luka's the dude that we saw look and smile.
Yeah, Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
After cooking
Luka like this shit. Luka, you know, when Kyrie's told Charles Barkley, like, yeah, I was actually eating with my family, and I saw that, and I was like, you know who probably was the first person who texted him?
Luka.
Hey man, you see this shit, nigga? Oh, buddy ass wild. You about to fuck him up, ain't you? Oh, I can't wait to see this shit. You know I'm with it. Like Luka looks like the dude that
Luka and J Kid
will happily jump you if needed, like for fun though. Like he'd be the dude that's kicking you and just laughing like this nigga thought it was sweet. So yeah, I got Dallas in another close one.
I definitely think Dallas is gonna win too. There's a reason why Luka got signed to Jordan. Jordan knows.
The reason Jordan hugged him and didn't even look at Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah,
right.
Jordan knows the psychopath when he sees one in the court. Jordan's like, oh, he just like me for real. I get it. Luka's good, man. There's nothing you can say about that. By the way, Jason Kidd. I'm not even trying to tell any more jokes, but Jason Kidd looks like Elmer Fudd, and it bothers me so much. Like every time I look at him, I'm like, yo. I kept trying to think about. I was like, "Yo, you look like Elmer Fudd."
Remember when his son was a little kid? That nigga had a massive head. It looked like
when he was with the Nets.
Yeah. The Nets, like it was just like the massive head, bro. I ain't trying to talk about nobody, but it was just like odd. Like, but I love this kid. My favorite point guard growing up. Like that was my guy. So I'm glad to see him in a situation where he's actually coaching well. And if you're a point guard, if you're Kyrie Irving. Or even though I don't even know what I consider Luka. Luka's a freak of nature. I can't put a position on him. But if you want to learn,
he's a glitch in the system. That's what he is.
Yeah, if you want to learn from like a floor general, Jason Kidd is one of the best to learn from. And this nigga took Kenyon Martin and Kerry Kittles to the finals twice. Like
Kerry Kittles is a name.
Like,
I haven't heard that shit.
Kerry
Van Horn.
Remember that slam title? Champs by 2001. Book it. Jack was like, I don't think so.
Was that the 02? Was that the 02 Nets with Brian Kidd?
No, the 02.
With Brian Scott. Sorry,
Byron Scott. Yeah, Byron Scott was a coach. Yeah. That was
Kid Van Horn, Kittles, Kid Van Horn, Kittles,
Jason
Carter.
Williams.
Matumbo was on there. Donnie Marshall
was on there.
Yeah,
Matumbo
Richard Jefferson.
Todd McCullough. There's only there's like
do you know who else was on that team? Lucius Harris.
Ooh, that's a name. Was Rajah Bell on that team?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
He wasn't on that team?
No, Richard Jefferson was on that team though.
They made back somebody, my man Pappy said, why is Vince Carter getting his jersey retired, not Richard Jefferson? I was like, look, Vince Sanity was my second player when I was, after Mike retired, but that is a valid question. That is a valid question. As far as a net, like we talking Toronto, obviously DC jersey should be up there. Like, that's not even negotiable. But as a net, I don't know. I think they just want an excuse to put a jersey up because it's the Nets. That's what I think. But let's go to, we're going to have a respected coach in about 5 minutes. The homie Larry Legend's going to bring up, then we're going to have a conversation about kind of what we talked about on Some Dude, bang. Well, it's time to let go of the diddler. We're going to be talking about that in a minute with the homie Larry Legend.
Freak man.
Speaking of Freak Man, by the way, if you watch that Kevin Spacey documentary on HBO Max, put that nigga under the jail. Like, come on. I almost forgot about when I think it was 2018 when all those charges came up on Kevin Spacey, and this nigga responded as Francis Underwood. I almost forgot about that YouTube video. I saw that. I'm like, this nigga is insane. But two things was we wait for the homie Larry Legend to come on, man. We all know about the Inside the NBA news that's been coming down, and Charles Barkley's been kind of like on a promo tour. But one thing that Charles kind of stood out to what me about the future of Inside, when he was like, look, I might think about signing Ernie and Chuck. I'm not saying Ernie and Kenny and Shaq, my production company. We produce Inside the NBA. Now, Bang, you are the Tom Wamskins of Barbershop Network. Do you think it's a possibility that we can maybe get a different version of Inside, maybe with the Amazon or NBC or something?
It all revolves around Ernie. Ernie is a lifer when it comes to TNT Sports. So wherever Ernie go, I think that's where the team goes. And Ernie, with his lifetime contract, basically at Turner, I don't think it's about money when it comes to him too. I think it's about peace of mind. It's funny because I just had that conversation with somebody the other day. So as long as the peace of mind of Ernie is where it is, he ain't going nowhere. He gonna stick around doing baseball coverage and some other stuff with TNT. And as I think I saw you on Twitter say this, and I had said this myself on the show, you're not going to get another Inside the NBA on a network television. So that's not coming to NBA on NBC coverage. You're going to get Basketball Night in America. Then you're going to get some of the smartest minds in basketball. Like I said, JJ Redick is going to be one of them.
Yeah, JJ Redick is going to be on Fig coaching the Lakers.
Nah, he's going to get fired by that time. He's going to be fired by that time, and he's going to be the first hire, along with like Jamal Crawford and some other folks. So it's going to be a more smarter coverage.
Bang, I have a question for you because that's something I was trying to figure out myself. Like, who do you think NBC's gonna hire next year? Because I literally was on Google, like, damn, who the hell they gonna hire next year?
Bring back the old niggas. Bring back Bob Costas.
Hey, man,
get him my shot off whatever golf course.
Yeah, I said on here, Bob Costas could come back. He could come back right now. But see,
wasn't he at the Knicks game like a week ago?
I think so. Like Bob Costas could come back and narrate my life if he wants to. But no, see, you got to look. Just looking at the landscape, and I've first of all, as Scott knows, I've had this beef with NBA TV for quite some time.
You ain't the only one. Me and Damien had this beef too.
They suck at like their content, whatever their content strategy sucks on TV and on web. They have no engaging content whatsoever. They need to talk to the NFL or call me or something. Shit is terrible over there. So
them niggas play the green team doc like it's baby boy.
Yeah. So with that being said, the one thing that I hate about the NBA and their media coverage is there is nobody, in my opinion, that is on the come up that you can grab and put in that place. Get them off the bench and move them up. Like, I don't know who that is outside of like Kevin Harlan. Kevin Harlan, I can see being the main play-by-play guy on NBC.
No,
but
not
I don't
even
think
that. Not even that, because he just admitted he got a lifetime deal with
That's what I say, but he's not going nowhere.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If he's not going nowhere, there's not a play-by-play guy that is going to be as engaging to me to even keep me in there. NBC used to have the lick on play-by-play guys. To remind everybody, Mike Breen at one point was the second and third to Marv Albert and everything. He cut his teeth there. So I don't mean, what's my man name on NBC that be doing the stuff for Richard on ESPN that be doing the games for Richard Jefferson. What's my man name?
Ryan Rucco.
Ryan Rucco. Unless you could go poach a Ryan Rucco, and Jamal Crawford, I think, is a free agent. So
Jamal
maybe
Crawford would be a nice,
yeah. And then you
still Vince Carter.
Yeah, but Vince Carter was on TNT the other day. So I mean, he
I
was
wonder what all them Turner contracts.
TNT's leaving after the year. So maybe you could grab him, Vince Carter, Jamal Crawford,
bring back Chris Webber.
No.
Chris Webber, absolutely no.
Like Reggie is annoying, but at least like that's Reggie just annoying. I don't think he's a bad
Yeah, he's
call
just
for the
annoying.
game. He's just
Yeah.
annoying. But let's
That
bring Laro in. We gonna bring the homie Larry Legend in, man.
Think Laro's rolling up.
Oh, he rolling up.
Okay.
Larry, are you ready or no? We can.
Look at him. Look at
I'm not rolling up. I'm not rolling up, man. I'm not rolling up.
Well, you look like you was a man, like.
I was trying to see about my mic. I got my computer over here. We at the studio today.
Yeah, so you on the set.
We at the studio on the set
today. I'm like, it's Friday. I got to be over here today, so I'm like, shit. Let me try this out today. So
It
we
working.
at the set. You see, we got Nip in the back and shit. We
Yes,
out
sir.
here. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I'm just trying to see. Do y'all hear me like through this mic?
We can hear you good and clear.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. How you feeling, bro?
Man, it's been another week, bro. I can't even complain. It's another week I'm alive. That's all I gotta say.
That's always good, man. That thank you, Bang, for the artwork. There we go. Respect the culture with Larry Legend, man. A lot has happened since the last time you've been over here. I just want to say real quick about the Drake thing. Drake, you're not low, my nigga. You tried to do the let me get into the joke like I'm cool BBL Drizzy. No, you're not. Okay. You can fool a lot of people. You can't fool me, okay? And you talking about BBLs with Sexy Red just makes the Kendrick line even funnier. I'm sorry. Like, I actually kind of feel bad for Drake a little bit because everything he does now is going to be broken down. Like,
I mean, do you really feel bad though? I mean,
no,
this
I
nigga,
don't. I just like a phrase, you know, to use. Like, I feel bad.
Kendrick literally put a trap in this nigga. Like he said, when I see you with Sexy Red, I see two bad bitches.
Yeah.
And he puts the song out. And literally everything he's saying is everything that Kendrick is. It's just, I don't know.
He looked like somebody kidnapped him at the WNBA Toronto announcement. Like Massa Ujiri and Kyle Lowry put a gun in his head to make him show up. Like,
you outside? You outside?
Yeah, Kyle Lowry's like, nigga, that was me who pulled up to your house a week ago. Keep playing.
Who's that one light-skinned nigga that used to play for the Grizzlies on the Rockets now? The light-skinned dude. I'm trying to remember his name.
Oh, Fred VanVleet?
No, not Fred. Fred played for the Raptors. Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks? Yes. Somebody said like
Dylan
Brooks.
He looked like anime Dylan Brooks.
Drake did look like AI Dylan Brooks. But Lero, man, what you got for us this week?
All right, we're gonna talk about the most obvious story of the week.
The Diddler.
Something we shouldn't be. Something I said I wasn't gonna talk about, but we got to talk about Dirty Money Man, Big Dirty Man, the baddest boy, the worst boy. This nigga just did. I mean, like we heard the stories, you know what I'm saying, but with the footage, now it's like everything somebody else has said about him. I kind of gotta. You guilty until proven innocent at this point, bro. I usually move by, innocent until proven guilty, even though the world don't move that way no more. I try to do that to people. But with this guy, he's done. He's cooked. Diddy's done. And I just wanted to say that. I wanted that to be the start of this show. I wanted just everybody to drop their opinion. If you had one on them, we all grew up on some of that shit. We all had our times. I was able to do some special shit during some of the Bad Boys anniversary stuff. And it was a good time, but fuck that shit and fuck that nigga, and that's the end of it. I can't justify no nigga doing what he did, man. The nigga threw a fucking glass vase full of flowers at the bitch. Well, I'm sorry, the woman walking down the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, what the fuck?
And I think what's the craziest thing though about all that shit? It's like Shaka Khan's daughter. She was talking about how this man was like yelling at her in front of her son and got her son like jump. And then there's another story in TMZ about how this dude like raped this girl for like years and like with Kim. And it's like every story about him just sounds more and more villainous and yet more and more believable. It's like everything that comes out is like, I believe it. Like when I read that thing that he blew up Cuddy's car, I'm like, I was like, as much as that shit sounds like a something that in like a movie, Batman. It's like I believe it. That's something that he could get away with because he's got the access and the money and the power to do shit like that. It's just like this is not a good person. Like I don't
blow up my car. I'm telling.
I ain't
gonna lie.
You gonna have to kill me, nigga.
Yeah, you gonna have to. You call me a snitch all you want to. Fred, you tried to blow up my car with some ass.
You tried to Sam Rothstein me, bro. Like what?
Man, I'm like, am I watching? What am I watching? What am I watching?
The crazy part about all this shit is just like there's so many stories throughout the years. Like we all have heard, like through the grapevine and all of this shit, and it's just like it's so believable. That's the craziest thing. Is like there's not a story about Diddy that like
that's like unbelievable. Yeah,
you tell me that this like again, like, he grew up in the 90s and went to Howard. Like I know this nigga was doing some nefarious shit on that campus. I just know he was doing some nonsense.
Imagine a Howard homecoming in '92.
Yeah, that's yeah, you can't forget you can't look at Diddy the same. That shit's a wrap. That shit's dead. Now, it's stuff that I really want to say that I'm not gonna say on the platform because I don't want to seem like I'm disrespecting anybody or whatever and all of that stuff. But Orlando, I think I'll just leave it to what Orlando said. Right there, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg of hip hop, but
not just for hip hop. It's the tip of the iceberg for anything 90s. Like we were saying,
for anything 90s. Yeah, for anything 90s and everybody around it, even just when you look at this Diddy situation. When the R. Kelly thing was going on, a lot of people was talking about there's a whole bunch of enablers. How come the enablers are not going to go to jail and all of that stuff? Well, if R. Kelly got enablers, well, what the fuck do you think Diddy got?
A billionaire.
Oh my God. Like this man would be he would have the epitome, the epitome of enablers. And if you want to be truthful, man, I've said this before, I'll say it again. And y'all thought I was joking. I kind of wasn't joking. We all enablers in this one, Jack. We all play a part in this one because a lot of this stuff we heard stories about and we never stop listening to it. And we do this all the time when it's some art. We do it all the time with some artists. We try to separate the art from the artist. In this case right here, the artist gave us the art of a whole decade.
Yeah, man.
A decade, bro.
At least. I'm just saying the 90s because we were talking about the 90s in general.
He can't stop.
The night from 1990. From 1999. And if you want to be technical, you could go to 1980. The minute that man stepped foot on Uptown Record in the Uptown Records Artist Lounge, fam, to 1999, this man has been influential.
And that's before he invented the remix.
And in our lives, fam. So even with like Peloton talking about we're not playing any bad boy music, we're pausing bad boy music.
We got a clarification. They're only not playing puppy music.
Okay, because then in that thing they said but see, in what they had said, it said pause on Diddy and Bad Boy. They knew damn well if they pause Bad Boy, you can't play shit.
Nothing.
You can't play nothing. If you say you're not playing Diddy, you can't play nothing.
So what is classified as a Diddy record though? Is like because if
and we talked about that on some dude. Like what qualifies as a that's the other day. I got this title playlist called Bluetooth Sundays with a whole bunch of old R&B on there. And I had was it Gina? What's her name? Gina Campbell.
Gina Thompson with Missy.
Yeah, I'm all this. And who I hear in the background? The Diddler. Like you can't escape this nigga, man. Like he's on everything.
Yo, one of the homies is a DJ out here in New York, right? And he was saying like he was spinning the record. And he's like, damn, like Diddy's everywhere. And it's true. It's like, yo, you like again, I grew up in London, right? And like I moved to America in 2001. And like literally, even in London in the 90s, you couldn't escape his music. It's everywhere. Like the first CD that like my dad, like I physically remember my dad, one of the CDs my dad brought was he brought the Harlem World, and my dad bought Biggie's CD. Mm-hmm. And this man exactly Mary J because of him. Like Jodeci was because of him. Like all these artists you think about, it's like, yo, he's everywhere. There's like not like, you know, like people stop playing R. Kelly, like stop that. But Diddy is just like everything. Like this
go down to Chicago block on a random Wednesday. Niggas have not stopped playing R. Kelly.
Here's the thing. But see, here's the thing. You can stop playing R. Kelly because it's like, yo, we got Jodeci or we got somebody else. If you don't play R. Kelly, all of these R&B niggas is Diddy niggas, like or offshoots. So that means only thing we can listen to from the 90s is So Deaf.
And I'm not trying to hear that. All respect to JD. All respect to JD. I'm not trying to hear that, right?
And you know what's the wildest thing? Like Diddy's album he put out last year.
It was so good.
Yo, that was an amazing album.
So good, bro. It was so good.
Shout out to my boy Lil Rodney. Pay Lil Rodney his money, Diddy.
Pay him
I've been holding this in. that case, I know that nigga. I know the nigga who sued Diddy for all that shit, and he put what's the girl name? Young Miami. He put all that shit out there. I know that nigga. Get that man his money, Diddy. Before you go down, get that man his money. You know what I'm saying? I know you, Diego, you messed up with them. Hey, man, it's not nobody's fault, man. You shouldn't be beating up on women. You shouldn't be blowing people's cars up. It's other stuff I know about him breaking people's noses and having surgeons flew out just to fix the nose before anybody found out. I be knowing a little bit of something that I don't.
I think if anybody who's like, well, of course we know Lero. I've heard stories, nigga chasing people down the street with guns like he's Wilson Fisk. Like we've heard these stories. Like we've either known people. I have always said that I've been invited to a couple of Diddy parties. I think if you lived in LA or been in LA, you've either been to a Diddy party or been invited to a Diddy party.
What I tell you, Scott, as long as you don't stay
stay past a certain time.
But that red light go off.
It's like the purge.
You better get out that room.
It's like the purge, nigga.
You staying at Club Love too long. But like to me, I look at the thing that's kind of stood out to me more than even just the actual Diddy thing, because we've heard the stories, now you've seen the video. And I said this on some dude. There's a lot of celebrities flying too close.
Whoa, what the hell, Orlando? What you know?
He said the dog baby because no, what we doing?
What we doing?
God, please, no.
Leave Kenneth out of this.
Hey, Babyface punched Anita Baker. That's what really happened. That's the behind the scenes.
Wow.
You didn't know that. Everybody calling Anita Baker a B word the whole time. Babyface the slap.
You know what it sound like Family Guy. I was like, whoa, we having a good time over here.
Whoa, we do the fun flex. Who made you go at that first?
Whoa.
But like to me, it's like there's a lot of celebrities like who are flying too close to the sun. 50,
Curtis Jackson.
50's one. But you know who I listened to this week, and I just had to have that's a funny guy, Mr. Joseph Budden.
I knew you was gonna say that.
I watched his pod, and I was like, if I wasn't a fan of your actual music and actually remember you saying that you actually hit Esther Baxter, I believe you right now. Because you really in your head believe what you said. I watched like the hour and I was like, it's a funny guy. Like I watched that podcast, like I watched Draymond when he gets suspended and act like he ain't do nothing. I was just like, you're a funny guy. You're a funny guy.
5,000 for nothing.
You know what it is too, Larry Bang and Scott? We come from a generation, right, where like we grew up in like that blog era, right? We grew up in the era where like there's a lot of shit that like we saw on social. Like I give you a perfect example. I remember in high school, like 04, like when I was in high school, right? And we were talking about Bill Cosby, and like I knew about like the whole Spanish Fly shit, and like I knew he was doing that like 04. And when it all came out, I was just like, what are y'all shocked? Like this is old news. And it's just like a lot of this shit, like we see it, right? And it's like I don't know if it's because of the society we live in, the way we live in, but it's just like shit just gets swept underneath the rug. And then like when it's time, it's just like, yo, these people have been nasty for years. They just been getting away with it. So, my biggest thing is just like I just feel sorry for all the victims. That's really all it is. It's just like that's what it is. It's just like there's so many people who's been going through so much shit for no reason.
That's my concern. That's my concern is because fuck it, I'm just going to use this analogy, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody, but this is my biggest concern because of everybody who is connected with Diddy. I don't want this to feel like the bottom bitch type of shit. And what I mean by that is it feels like to me everybody has been complicit, so everybody is a bottom bitch in this situation. And then you start finding out like that this person, if you know about pimping, the bottom bitch is the person who recruit. The bottom bitch is the person who get everybody together. She cleans up the shit. She's damn near the assistant pimp. So anybody can be a bottom bitch in this situation. But even with this new lawsuit that came up, the chick that said that she was getting raped by Diddy said that she had an incident with Kim Porter where Kim Porter basically got her fired from a job. What I'm afraid of is that some of the people, because of how this shit works, some of the people where we're going to be like, yo, damn, it was messed up that they was involved in this and they were victims. What I'm scared of is that this shit's going to be so widespread that the victims are going to be people that we end up condemning. Because you cannot tell me when it comes to this shit right here that everybody is clean. Yeah, they're victims and there's people that's being taken advantage of and all of those things. And I totally understand that. But you cannot tell me that this is not connected to some of the other people in hip hop because they know everything was going on. And you can't tell me that people might have done things to keep themselves in the limelight. That means some of the celebrities that you know and some of the people that might end up being victims who it just turns out that this shit was just a lot of shit happened to keep themselves in the limelight by either turning a blind eye to it or they was just getting their ass whooped and they had to mascara it up just to be a part of it. This is going to be nasty. And I guess what I'm saying is that shit, it's time for this shit to get exposed.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, it's gonna be like 90s people in general. When I was watching, I was talking about earlier, I saw the Kevin Spacey documentary, but I was watching, they be throwing them ads beginning of them on streaming now. There's a documentary on Nick Carter from Backstreet Boys, and the lady on there was like, I know stuff about Nick. Got to get this whole place burned down,
man.
So it's like it's different people who are big in the 90s that you're gonna start seeing stuff about. And yeah,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but a lot of people learn that shit from the shit that happened to them, and that's why I said it. Like you're gonna see people that hear about people who had shit done to them, and they start doing the same shit to other people.
Bro, you saw the Nickelodeon thing about
crazy documentary.
Look what happened to Drake Bell. Like Drake Bell, got he got assaulted and he did it to somebody else, and it's just like, yo, this is a sick cycle, And I think a lot of it is just power, right? People get power and just lose their goddamn minds. It's just like they can't be normal. They indulge in shit because they have access, and it's just like, yo, be a normal person, but they just can't. It's sick.
Yeah. It's a big cycle, man. And, I just want, give our prayers and thoughts out to Cassie. She put out a statement the other day. I can only imagine it's probably even worse for her to, relive this. Like, if we're seeing this and this happened to us, I can only imagine what that's like to re-see it again.
It feels like the drug dealers are going to be the cleanest people in hip-hop at this point.
Oh, the niggas just sold narcotics. So,
I just sold a couple of narcotics, man. I ain't doing none of that other shit, though.
Nothing small, nothing big. But, Lero, man, take us to your next topic.
All right, y'all. So, we have to start off with who we kicking out the culture. He's a forefather of the culture, but he got to go. Bye-bye, Diddy. Now, we also got to turn around and let people know who they're not the culture. Apple Music is not the culture. Yeah. I know we talked about it maybe a week or two ago, and I had mentioned that they had the first selection of the top 100 albums, and Usher was under like seat at the table or something. It was like, oh, I'm not going to keep up with this list. This is trash. But for some reason, people kept up with the list, and I'm not gonna get into my feelings about Lauryn Hill because, hey, man, whatever. If it's one album that you made and it's the best album, hey.
With 5 rap songs on that, and you only talk about one of them.
I only don't like, my main thing is Frank Ocean top 5. Frank Ocean don't have one piece of top 5 music in his catalog.
Ooh, I got some disrespect.
I got a take about Frank that I can't say on this show.
I'm gonna say it. I'll say mine.
Say it.
Hey, man. Frank Ocean ain't even top 5 gay artists in the world.
That's fact.
No, he's not. He's not at all.
Not even top 5 gay artists.
He's not.
No disrespect to gay people. But he ain't top 5.
Number one. I mean,
like George.
Luther, have you ever been around? You ever been around older folks who still don't want to admit that Luther's gay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like my auntie get legit mad at me. Like when I say that. Like she like, no, like
this is off the record. But fun fact, I made a post about when 50 Cent got the studio, and I was like the male Tyler Perry.
Yeah, everybody stole your
internet.
Yeah,
my grandma hit me up. She called me, and she's like, "What's this about Tyler Perry and the male Tyler Perry?" I'm like, "Grand, it's a joke, whatever." She said, "I know it's a joke, but it wasn't funny. You need to take this down." Grams, you know what I'm saying? Like, and mind you, she not my friend on Facebook or nothing, but she one day she had mentioned to me one of my posts on Facebook, and I'm like, how you see that? She was like, I see your post. And I was like, I can't be on there cussing and stuff because you see it. She was like, no, I like how you do your thing. Do your thing. It's funny to me. And it was funny. All the other times it was funny. You know what I'm saying? Me making fun of the Bucket Boys, that's cool. That's low-key making fun of Poppy. But when I say something about Tyler Perry, who dresses like a woman, it was like, oh no, my man. And it was like, damn, Grams, like I can't make fun of Tyler Perry. So I said that just threw me onto that because I'm like, damn, that's crazy, bro. Like I was choose for sure. Like Luther Vandross is definitely who he is, but you can't speak that on his name.
Queen Latifah rounds it out, by the way.
She finally came out, and I don't even think she came out.
No, she came out.
She still ain't official.
We just officially came out. She just be with her now.
Like that's how I know that like Queen Latifah is a better actor we give her credit for. I watch old living single. I watch old living single. I'm like, who we fooling? Like, come on, like who we fooling? Like this wasn't obvious.
On living single, she definitely was that one auntie that everybody had who never had a man and didn't want one. Like, what's up with her? I always got a lot of female friends.
Who come to Christmas with her roommate. Yeah, like.
Yo, I will say though, Larry, the Apple Music thing, I didn't even engage on Twitter because I was just like, Apple, like whoever's marketing, you guys are doing a hell of a job.
Amazing job.
Y'all are trolling the shit out of people. And second of all, about Lauryn Hill, listen, she made a whole album about slut shaming and she was fucking somebody's man. So that's neither here nor there.
Come on, dog. People are telling me Lauryn Hill album changed the world. I'm like, with Sexy Red out, it changed the world? Are you kidding me? Nobody listen to that shit.
Listen,
nobody a powerful black woman because of that album.
Listen, she was allegedly fucking Wyclef Jean and one to Marley. So
allegedly.
Reportedly, allegedly. Quote unquote.
Quote unquote. Allegedly.
It's like my thing is just like doo-wop is cool, but it's just like you slut shaming. Look what you doing at home. Like
I love Lauryn, but like, man, bro, it's a little hypocritical in a way. My main thing is you only have one album under your belt. That bothers me. People try to throw the unplugged shit in there too.
Queen Latifah was on living single.
And her suits was definitely big as hell. Cheryl Miller type
them bright Darkwing Duck colors on their blazers in the 90s, bro. But I'll say this about the list, like you just said, Tosin. It's great marketing. Like I saw it. My brother tweeted like, oh, they got Good Kid, Mad City over Blueprint. How you gonna react? I was like, you know what? First of all, I know there's white people involved in this list, so you're not gonna get me upset today about this. I love Kendrick, but Blueprint, like, look, 9/11 happened. Now, granted, I'm in Chicago. 9/11 happened. I asked my cousin, like, yo, I can't go to Target to get
Scott. We talked about this in person.
Yeah, I was like, that was my thing. I was like, I can't, go. That's what was on my mind. Like, that's how big Jay-Z was. I'm like, I love Good Kid, Mad City. I was 24 on the album drop. I'm vividly, but let's not do this. But it's all about engagement base. And let me tell you how great it was. Like, oh, we're gonna take Thriller and put it at 2. We're gonna put Thriller and put it through 2, and then we're gonna put Frank Ocean. No, not Frank, but Lauryn Hill number 1.
Yeah, but it's like
they had Frank over Songs in the Key of Life.
Yeah,
the greatest.
Hold on,
the greatest shit that ever touched the fucking wax.
We got to do it. We got it for context. Because there's a lot of people, there's some people in the chat that's like, yo, which album, boom, boom, boom. So for context, and also I'll let y'all know for SEO reasons, it's easy pickings. But the best album of all time, according to Apple Music, is The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Now, for context, I think this was Billboard that did this a couple of years ago, but Billboard believes that Marvin Gaye What's Going On is the greatest album of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell y'all right now, I would choose that album over Lauryn Hill's, and that didn't even make the top 10. That's wild about this.
At least that's Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta
what's going on.
Yeah, what's going on.
Babies and all that on there.
Yeah.
Save the babies.
Yeah, that's joint.
Thriller is number 2, followed by The Beatles' Abbey Road. Purple Rain is number 4. And I am not gonna lie to you. As much as I love that album, I was very shocked that made the top 10 because I don't be seeing that in any of the joints. I love that album. Number 5, Blonde, Frank Ocean. Number 6, Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. Number 7, Good Kid, Mad City.
Okay, we don't get mad about anything. Stevie, that album should probably be number 1.
Hey,
at least top 3.
At the most, like that's a perfect album, bro.
Bro, it brought him to life. Like, at least we gotta honor. This is a guy who's blind, who plays all the instruments almost.
Allegedly blind.
Allegedly,
yes.
He know what a bad bitch look like, though. I can tell you that.
Yes.
I know Stevie ain't laying up with just know anything, my nigga. But it's crazy. Like, the best troll that they did with all of this was, after all of the hoopla, I think it was yesterday or this morning, they tweeted out, so seeing as how you all had your own opinions, would you guys mind sending us some of your albums that didn't make the list? I'm like, y'all just doing everything for engagement. Ain't
not for engagement. And then they had an hour and a half podcast episode with Ebro and shout out Low Key. And I think Nadeska was on there. Like, I'm like, y'all, this is a great rollout. It's a great rollout. I respect.
Yeah, they rolled out the Urbans to talk about this.
Exactly.
Which is even more crazy that they will use our voice like they do all the time to lead the conversation.
Stevie touch her wrist and she know she got a fat ass. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's facts. Stevie Ray Charles taught Stevie that shit when he was little. Like, nigga, no, he probably slapped that nigga head when he seen him grab. No, man, no. It's like this, man. You got to grab it right here, man. That nigga was little and shit. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, listen, the thing with like albums and everything is just, it's so subjective, right? I mean, there are some albums where you're just like, yo, this shit has to be there. But it's just sometimes I'm just like, I don't care about your opinion about music, bro. Like, just enjoy what you like and just leave me alone. Just how about that? How about you like what you like and just leave us the fuck alone?
Don't even make a list no more.
Yeah.
Like, leave the list alone.
Just to continue real quick, Amy Winehouse, Back to Black, is number 8. Number 9 is Nirvana, Nevermind, and number 10 is Beyonce, Lemonade.
Lemonade not even Beyonce best album. Like,
I will say this about Amy Winehouse: that is a talented crackhead. Rest her soul. She is talented as hell. She is that woman had demons. Oh my God, rest her soul.
Sometimes tough situations bring out the best music. Like,
and it's in them veins.
Nas is one of my favorite rappers of all time. But Nas, why'd you do that? That's neither here nor there. But at least they made cherry wine. So thank you for that. At least they did
I do real quick. Just want to bring up, it's Rolling Stone. I'm actually going to bring up. Rolling Stone has done this list. They be doing lists all the time. And for their list, let me see if I can pull this shit up. For their list, let me hit the load more on this bitch because they want you to hit the load more on this motherfucker. Let me see if it go down there.
We gotta do the Jeopardy music.
All right, so Rolling Stone did their list a couple of years ago. Yep, that's what it was. It was Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone picked Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, as the greatest album of all time.
Yeah, I can respect that though.
Followed by Beach Boys, Pet Sound.
Yeah.
Number 3, Joni.
Great American music.
Right. Joni Mitchell, Blue. Number 4 is Songs in the Key of Life, Stevie Wonder. Number 5 is Beatles, Abbey Road. Number 6 is Nirvana, Nevermind. Number 7 is Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, which is an amazing album. I understand that one. Actually, number 8 is Prince, Purple Rain. Number 9 is Bob Dylan, Blood on the Tracks. And number 10 is number 1, the Apple Music, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Was it really? Like, I mean,
they didn't have Thriller in the top 10, my G.
What are we doing, man?
The most the best sequenced album of all time, the best, like hit for hit. Like, what are we talking about? How is Thriller not?
Like, if you want to talk about just off bangers, like I personally like Off the Wall better than Thriller. But if you want to talk about just hits, like, come on, dog. Like, hit for hit for hit for hit for hit. Like, it starts with Wanna Be Starting Something. It ends with I think it ends with Lady in My Life, right? Is that the last song on Lady in My Life? Like, that's just like, you can't find a better track list than that.
Yeah,
like,
Thriller is the best. Thriller has the best intro, first track, whatever you want to call it, of all time.
Yeah,
it starts off.
I have a take about the Beatles. I don't care for them, first of all. But the greatest thing the Beatles ever did for us was making what's that one song? I'm trying to remember the song that they sampled for Thong Song on it.
I don't know, but I was scared you was gonna say die. Like
no.
I messed up.
Yeah, West
Two
Long.
of them niggas still here though, right? It's
Allegedly.
Because people it's rumor, it's a lot of conspiracy out there. It's a lot of conspiracy out there that Paul McCartney ain't the original Paul McCartney.
Yeah, they said he died on an airplane crash or something, and
it was a car accident.
And
AI Paul McCartney.
Yeah, we've been dealing with the one who did the song with Kanye. He's not a real person.
Yeah,
that wasn't even Paul McCartney.
But,
Wes Montgomery did a remake of Eleanor Rigsby, and that's what they used for the samples for Thong Song. So that's the Beatles' greatest.
That's the greatest contribution to
the music.
But let's
a song I like, but I don't know the name of it. But they got songs I do like though.
I don't know any Beatles songs. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. All I know is Little Richard said, "I'm the one who put them little niggas on." I saw his documentary. He said, them niggas can't even play instruments. I'm with us too.
Them little white boys.
Yeah, he had them on tour. They couldn't even play instruments. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna listen to Little Richard. But
definitely believe him.
Definitely 100%. Lara, let's go to your last topic, man, and then we gonna wrap up.
Okay, so my last topic is this week they had maybe you guys might have seen it. I think it was a school in Atlanta where the mom was upset that her kid didn't get any awards during the award ceremony, and she went off, like she went crazy, right? And it brought me, because like I can understand being upset when your child is somewhere and everybody gets celebrated and they don't. But hey man, if that nigga's a loser, he's a fucking loser. I don't know what to tell you, lady. Like, listen, I am against participation awards. Now, my counter effect in that, I say, make sure that the kids who aren't getting awards don't even get invited. No disrespect, but why even put them through that? But if it's an award ceremony, don't invite the kids who's not getting anything. But other than that, somebody argued with me about this on Facebook about kids seeing themselves win in any moment, them doing something they should be celebrated for. I agree with that. You celebrate your kid because they just learn how to walk, or they just learn how to add, or they can read their books by themselves, or they even able to take care of themselves, wash, whatever. But my thing is, there's no such thing as fourth place. Yes. There's first, and there's everybody else. Now, if you go to the Olympics, you get third place, you get second, third place, but there's everybody else. And people have to understand that. And this whole, I think it was maybe about 8 years ago where it was a major thing in the school system where they were trying to, or like in sports for schools, they were trying to give out awards for everybody who participated. And I personally just don't feel like giving everybody a trophy, even when they lose, is effective, because that's not real life, bro. We go around and kids, you gonna fail at some stuff. That's the part of living life. That's a part of learning life. You gotta fail sometimes to understand how to win. But if you give everybody they're all winners, what the fuck are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's fine now. Like that whole thing I got against undesirables. But in the same sense, it's all the same. Like, no, we have to have people in place to understand what other things are. I just want y'all opinion on that. Would you? Because I don't want my daughter to come home with a seventh place.
I'll say this. Now, I have no children, but I will say this. I'm with you, Lero. Like, it teaches you stuff about life. You don't win all the time. I wish I could get everything I wanted. If I could, I'd have a rich house. I'd have a big house, all that type of stuff. But there's winners and losers, especially in sports. And if you lose, that should motivate you to, what did I do wrong? Let me get better so I can win. And if I was a kid, now I don't know what happened since we were kids, but when I was a kid, I didn't want no second place trophy, no third place trophy, nothing like that. Like, you want to be able to, that's something to work for. You know what I'm saying? If everybody gets the same thing, why am I even working hard for? We all getting the same trophy. So that's how I kind of feel where it's at. It just goes to a deeper conversation where I might sound like old head. Well, I feel like everything is, we have to have a title for everything now. Like, everybody, you played hard, you're a winner. No, you're not. You lost. There's heaven and there's hell. Like whoever loses these West Conference finals, they not finna get a trophy. Oh, thank you for making the NBA playoffs. Like, it's just stupid, man. I'm with you. Like,
that's just say win or go home.
Yeah, win or go home. Right, exactly.
As the father of 3 on this bitch, Laro, not only you right. I remember when my oldest younger brother, he got his leg ran over by the 18-wheeler truck. He got hit by a truck, right? But before that, he was supposed to play T-ball and he didn't. I put that out there to say if he would have got hit by a car during the season and they gave him that trophy, then I would have been like, man, that's a nice gesture because he couldn't play. But my brother didn't even show up after he signed up, and they mailed him a trophy. And my parents put that shit in the crib, and I was like, man, throw that shit out the goddamn. He didn't even show the fuck up.
Right.
So no, I hate participation trophies. My son just had an award ceremony, and he was like, damn, I didn't get this award and I wanted it. So I had a nice, good, long conversation with him about striving to get an award. If they would have just gave him some shit, then it would be nothing to motivate him. Word. So no, I wouldn't have invited the kid to a ceremony if he wasn't getting shit. But there are school assemblies that happen when they do this. The parents come, and guess what? Your kid don't get shit. You should be asking your kid, why the hell you ain't get shit? Now, if he did everything he was supposed to and he ain't getting no award, that's a question, because Trey ass missed a day and a half of class, and it wasn't perfect attendance. It was excellent attendance. He didn't get that shit. We was confused. But also, I didn't go pull the teacher to the side like, yo, why my son ain't getting no excellence attendance award, bitch? What's going on? And we ain't gonna do that. This motherfucker got a whole bunch of other awards. So we good. All right. Leave that shit. Go home. We gonna go home happy. All right. But all that other shit, no, man, like that's doing too much as a parent. You need to find out if your kid's slow or not, if he dumb or not, if he up in school being bad, if he's out there throwing spitballs at the teacher or some shit. Maybe he called the teacher a bitch or some shit. Maybe it's some shit you don't even know because you don't come up there for parent-teacher conferences. You just came up there and you took the time off of work to go see your kid get an award, and you find out that nigga ain't get shit, and now you yelling at them. No, you need to yell at your son.
So you saw the video, right?
Yeah, I saw the video.
Okay, exactly. I'm just like, okay.
No, I saw the video, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this chick?
Yeah, because I feel like even if you feel away, you still have a place to do it. And we all know that that's just out of order. But again,
that ain't the place you do it.
Some of these parents need to understand that, like, good things come from like losing and being a hate. Like, being a hater really makes you a better person.
In the year of hate. End of
year hate.
Like, look at Luka. Like, I mean, look at Kyrie. Ant Edwards talking shit to him, and look what he did to Ant. It was just like, yo, sometimes you need to like get hate from the body of your soul and motivate you. That's really what it is. And sometimes you need to take an L and like understand, like, yo, I've messed up here. Like, I need to like do better. That's all that is. Just take that L. It makes us better. That's all that is.
Like, if you think about hate, and you said what you said, like about basketball, Cat, he was hating on Ant-Man for a minute. He figured it out.
He's like, hey, he filled out his place.
But it made him better. Hate him a little. Figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Teach the kids hate. That's the moral of this segment.
A little hate, because the hate is gonna motivate you.
Hate's gonna motivate you to the top. But we gonna wrap this up, man. We gotta get to our last segment, man, before we wrap this episode up. Laro, Tosa, thank you for joining us. Larry, let them know where they can get in tune with you at.
Larry is Legend on Twitter, or X now. And that sounds like a porn site.
We still call it Twitter.
Yeah, like what the fuck? And Larry is Legend 1 on Instagram. Like I said, we in the Culture Cellar tonight. I get to show y'all the Culture Cellar. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Here a couple times if we can. Y'all know where to find me at. Other than that, just be on the lookout for the launch of the site. And I'll catch y'all next time.
Definitely. Tosa, man, let them know they can follow you, where they can get in tune with all your content.
You can follow us on Shirtless Plantain Show on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all of that. Damn, the Baltimore accent came out. We're on Apple, Spotify as well. I'm on Twitter at TSNMKND. But yeah, appreciate y'all for having me, man. Truly.
Always good to have you on, brother, man. Y'all have a good Memorial Day weekend. And we gonna holler at y'all, man. We gonna pivot right quick, man. We gonna go to our next topic. We're gonna go to baseball. And we're gonna bring in people you ain't seen in a minute. Well, actually, you saw Courtney. But man, Mikey's off IR. Mikey, what's going on?
What's the word? What's the word?
How you feeling, dog?
I'm good, man. I'm
We're
good.
glad to see you alive and healthy.
You was out
I'm
here
here.
jogging and shit.
You see me? I'm trying to get back right, man. Trying to get that cardiovascular cup. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker got about 2 more months until I'm 35. So I got to get right before I get left. But I miss y'all, man. How we doing?
Hey man, I missed all y'all, man. We just missing Tiger Hood's Dante. I just saw
Right. He's over in Scottsdale living his best life right now.
Right. If you look at Dante's last IG post, it's just him in a cart. But I was like, yeah, man, Mikey feeling good. He back on his Sam Wilson Winter Soldier run, so it's good to see that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get back right, but man, I gotta kick it with Dante, bro. He hanging with the elite whites. I need to get with the elite whites. Like my white boyfriends, they rock Jordans and shit. He hanging with the elite whites. I need the Dockers with the, you know what I'm saying? With what is it? The Hoka running shoes. He with them.
Yeah, he definitely with the niggas with the cotton Dockers and shit, man. But and the funny thing is, last Dante had his Masters hat on. He went full black, should not play hockey. It's only enough. Only just me playing it. But glad to have y'all back, man. Mikey, me and Mikey and Bang gonna do a local hour for y'all, which definitely looking to get your opinion, Mikey, on everything that's been happening in Bears land over last month. That's why I say that for the local hour. So Courtney with me bombarded with Caleb Williams talk, even though Sports Center have been talking about Caleb Williams.
Christ, it is May 24th.
Hey.
Shout out to them Oilers paying the phone bill this week.
Hey, let's relax.
That plus 25 was too juicy.
Let's relax, okay?
Yeah, but we gonna get into it now. The Hot Corner podcast. Now that Mikey's off the IR, will be coming next week. So look forward to that. Gonna be getting y'all all through the baseball season. We're gonna be having baseball talk on every episode now. We got the summer episodes coming, which are gonna be once a week. But I'm gonna give the floor to Courtney for what we're gonna be talking about today on the Hot Corner.
Yeah, so there is a lot going on in baseball right now. Obviously, it is May. We're right in Memorial Day weekend. We're kind of getting into that point of the season where we can kind of assess, and there's a solid body of work to assess whether or not teams are real and teams are fake. And Mikey, I really want to get your insight on this because the Phillies are on a crazy tear right now. They are 37-14. They are 9-1 in their last 10. That team is doing something crazy right now, and I want to know if you think they're real or if it's fake.
No, I think the Phillies are real. If for those that have been paying attention, pardon my wall, I got a flat screen coming tomorrow, so we good. Just moving back to the crib, so it's been a little rough sharing one TV, but I have been watching Phillies. I have been watching baseball every day. The Phillies are in a natural progression to be what you would want to see. Obviously we know last year they lost in a tough Game 7 to the Diamondbacks and the LCS. The year before they went to 6 games with the Astros in the World Series. And you got to remember they did that kind of with a young squad. The guys that are really coming up. Outside of Bryce, Real Muto, you got Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh. They're real core players. They were young, so I'm loving what I'm seeing from them right now. Like you said, Courtney, 37-14, 9-1 in their last 10. As of right now, they lead the NL East. They have a 99.3% chance to make it to the playoffs. They lead the MLB in run differential, plus 93 run differential. That's first in the majors. Runs per game, first in the majors. On base percentage, first in the majors. Batting average, second in the majors. And you got to remember, they're doing this without Trey Turner. Trey Turner has been out for a while. So the production that they're getting out of shortstop and Edmundo Sosa, it's really good to see. And I know that there's a lot of people that are, they're kind of going after them because they're, the teams that they're really beating aren't, upper echelon, you could say. That none of them.
So unfair. If I may just chime in for a second, I saw that John Heyman, noted hater, said that about the Phillies. Let's break that down real quick. Okay, you're saying that the Phillies, they have the benefit of having like maybe an easier schedule. They're not playing many teams over 500. That's why they look so good. Let's check the numbers. There are 15 teams in the National League. Do you know how many of them right now are over 500? Don't look it up. I'll tell you. 6. The bigger story here, we're bearing the lead, is that fucking baseball sucks right now. Half the teams are ass. You can't blame the Phillies for literally just now beating teams over 500. It's not their fault. Everyone sucks. There are 2 teams in every National League division right now that are slightly over 500. Nasty.
No, I agree with you. Go ahead, Scott.
I was just gonna say this about the Phillies. I still got to see when the playoffs come, because I think that's kind of where like the problem they've had. Well, but one thing that kind of stood out to me, whether they bum slam, whatever, is this is probably the best start they've had in the Bryce Harper era.
1,000%. Not even just Bryce Harper era.
It's actually one of the best starts in MLB like history.
Yeah.
So no, I hear you on that. My thing with seeing them do it in the playoffs is they have done it. They've gotten to a World Series. Yep. They've gotten to the NLCS. Like like baseball is baseball. You look back at that Game 7 last year. The first run that the Diamondbacks scored was on the fielder's choice. In the first inning. Then they didn't really score again until the 6th, and it was on on another fielder's choice. So and they started a very young Ranger Suarez, right? He was starting Ranger Suarez in the Game 7. You can see it now. It's boosted his confidence. You're looking at the NL favorite for a Cy Young. He's 9-0. That's first in the Major League Baseball. He has a 1.36 ERA. That's second in baseball. He leads the MLB both sides with a 0.79 WHIP. He's really killing it. And then if you look at it, they have probably 3 of the top 5 Cy Young pitchers. Zach Wheeler is right behind him. You're looking at a Cy Young race of 3 Phillies and Shota Imanaga from the Cubs. I really think that they are doing everything that they have to do. Shout out to Bang letting us. Shout out to Bang. 28-6 since April 15th. It's the first time the franchise has won 28 of the 34 games since 1895.
I was trying to say it in the chat. I saw that shit on TV today. I said 18. What?
Yeah, 1895.
Thank you, Professor Bang. Also, sorry, the sun just wants to come out right now.
Hey, you good?
You good? But to kind of go back into that, even there's 45 games right now. There's 45 games left going into the All-Star break, right? Even with that 45 game stretch, even if they go 500, you're still looking at a 59-36 record in July. That's 23 games over 500. What I want to see, they're going to play the Rockies tonight. They'll probably sweep them. They'll probably be the first team.
They got a great part of their rotation going right now. Poor Colorado. They got to see Aaron Nola. They got both 2 lefties. They have a lefty pitching tonight in Sanchez, and then they have Ranger Suarez on Sunday, and I think Aaron Nola pitches tomorrow.
Yeah, correct. And
good luck to them.
Yeah. And the Rockies just came off of a 11th inning loss yesterday to the A's, where they went through about 4 bullpen members. They're terrible. But I think
curious to see if I may before. So I looked at their schedule just before the All-Star break. Those 2 weeks that they have to play.
It's tough. It's tough.
To Chicago and then Atlanta, and then they come back home to host the Dodgers before the All-Star break. So that's the stretch that I'm most curious to see.
Yeah, the 4 series that I want to see in between now and then is they're at Baltimore on Father's Day weekend, so that's going to be really good. And then the 3 with the Cubs, the 3 with the Braves, the 3 with the Dodgers, and we have to see how they line up their rotation. You have to assume right now that either Ranger Suarez or Zach Wheeler, whichever one is available to pitch the All-Star game, they'll probably be the starting pitcher there. So we have to see how that plays out. But what I want to see for them, because I think. With baseball, I don't like to consider people frauds, because baseball is a very tough sport. You play 162 games, and we've seen it. You can have the biggest payroll in the league, such as the Dodgers, and you can go out in the first round. You can be a team like the Braves last year, and the Phillies have their number. So the Phillies are not scared of who the juggernauts are. We can all say here, all 3 of us, the best baseball teams in over the last few years have come out of the NL. They're always coming out of the NL. This year the Yankees are making a case for up there. I really do like what the Yankees are doing, but they're not afraid of their peers. They're up there with, they can 1 through 9. They can go with the Dodgers, and they have the better rotation right now. The Atlanta Braves are 16th now. They were 19th, 16th in the league in runs scored. That offense is just not doing what it has been doing. So the Phillies have all the momentum. I want to see if they can improve. Where they're lacking for me is Taiwan Walker.
Their bullpen.
Yeah.
They've got like a 4.34 ERA or something like that, their bullpen. Now, keep in mind, Matt Strom does have a 0.84 ERA right now. So he's kind of holding it down. And, they have a couple of guys in there that can give you some long – like, it's a really, really well-constructed ball club. I mean, it's Dave Dombrowski's work is all over it. 100%.
And I'll say this too, like you just said, Mikey. Like I feel like when the playoffs, it's all about timing. Like you can have the best offense all year, then your bats go cold. You can have elite pitching, then you can't stop nothing. So I do believe, like what you said, they might go through a little tough, spat or whatever, but they starting off so good that they're going to be in a good position throughout the end of the season. And as reformed Bryce Harper hater, he is actually, when you watch Bryce Harper play, he's better than how to describe him. Like he and you could, not that you couldn't see it in Washington, because you could, but Philly, I think Philly's a bigger brand. It's a bigger, bigger sports town. He just feels like I feel like we're finally getting to see, since he's been a Philly, just how great he is, because he gets to be on the bigger stage each and every year. And this is probably the best team he's had. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to continue throughout the season.
For sure, and he's taking on the personality of the city he plays for. You can tell. And let's not discredit him. He has been moved to first base as a full-time first baseman, and he plays Gold Glove first base. Nobody would have anticipated that. So Bryce is doing everything. Peace out, Reese Hoskins. Enjoy life up in Milwaukee. So I really, what I would like to see is, I think they can improve their starting rotation. Maybe maybe go call up there in Toronto, see what's going on in Toronto. If you can pull somebody like a Kikuchi or maybe a Chris Bassett.
They need to go get Mason Miller from Oakland.
See, my thing with Mason Miller is the price tag is way too high.
You already know the ask is going to be
the ask is way too high on Mason Miller. And what a lot of people don't know, a lot of people are just hearing about Mason Miller this year, but he started off as a starting pitcher. So it's going to really be on whatever club that wants to go ahead and maybe give him that leash and try to let him expand into a starting pitcher. We know what he could do. He's 103 out the fucking pen. He's lights out. Yesterday, I think he gave up his first actual run, out of the pen. And, it was an extra innings. There's the ghost runner on second base. So he's lights out. But I think if they can improve, over Taiwan Walker in their rotation, obviously add another bullpen arm. And why don't they go after somebody like a Tyler O'Neill or a Michael Conforto to really make that lineup?
Tyler O'Neill in Boston, though.
Of course.
That's such a good fit for him.
Right, but that team is not going to make it to the playoffs.
You're right.
The same with Michael Conforto. He's really bounced back from the surgery with San Francisco, and it's probably not going to cost a lot. I think both are going into contract years, so you can. Nick Castellanos had the pressure's on Nick Castellanos right now. He's the one in that lineup that's not really holding up his weight. So if you could go ahead and add him, then
Schwarber too.
Yeah. In
my opinion, I think those are both guys that will figure it out. Like
for sure.
Enough to where I have the faith that they can figure it out.
For sure, but like Scott and Banks said, like they're starting to hoop now. Like, and we know, like you go in and you take advantage of that window and you go ahead and add the way you're playing. You're gonna get a Trey Turner back. It probably in the middle of June, probably by that Orioles series.
The thing is, his replacement hasn't been bad. Actually,
not at all.
I wanted to highlight that, and it kind of is not the worst pivot into the next kind of movement about teams that have kind of surprised us, because I was thinking about players on teams that surprised me, and Edmundo Sosa was one that came to mind, because he's played 23 games, but he's hit 2 home runs, 11 RBI. That man has an OPS right now of 965. He has
better statistics across the board than Ronald Acuna right now. And that's you know what I'm saying? Like he is actually as a very small sample size. Correct. Yeah, he's holding it down there. And as we segue into the surprise teams, I'll be honest with you, Courtney, I don't know, where you're gonna go here. But I'll start off. Go ahead.
Because it's related to a team that I said before the season started. That I was in on, and I still am.
Yeah.
The Royals are sneaky nice right now.
Game and a half out of first.
I know they're in a trash division, but they're looking real good right now.
I mean, but compared to how they've been the last couple years, though.
But you know what? You can't even say they're in the trash division right now because the team on my list right there is above them, the Cleveland Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians have been playing some really good baseball.
Yes,
they went down to Texas. They took 2 or 3 from y'all. They went ahead and they smacked the Twins, who had won 12 games in a row. And you're not expecting them to put up offense, but they're kind of up there in offensive categories. As all of the teams, they're fifth in all of Major League Baseball as the top producing offense. So they're not in a bad division, and I think it's really good for a young team like the Royals to be in an actual hunt. You know, like. They're not vying for a wild card spot right now. They're vying for a division, and they're in there. So we were on the Royals. What I will go with this one is going to be the entire AL West is ass. Now,
Correct.
anybody that watched our MLB special that we did, the first week of the season, I had said the Astros were going to be in third place. I had said their pitching was susceptible. I had said the Mariners are going to win the division. As it stands now, they are the leaders in the division, but it's semantics. I think all of those teams are struggling. When you go down to the Astros, the Astros right now are one of those teams where, they're terrible, but like offensively, they're starting to put it together where like,
they're putting it together, but their pitching just can't get right.
Their pitching can't get right.
Right. Whether it's starting pitching, if you have the starting pitcher who has a lights out day, maybe Hunter Brown finally pieces it together. I think he just did the other night. And then you got the bullpen giving up. Ryan Presley has been getting busted open.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And great situation for him.
For sure. And then if you go to the Rangers, and like I said, they just have way too many injuries in that rotation. Their bullpen is terrible. Offensively, they're kind of down from last year. Corey Seager did hit a 2-run homer.
The offense can't string it together, even though just literally like maybe 10 minutes ago, Marcus Semien worked an at bat, got on base, and then Corey Seager homered. So it was a nice early start for the team.
For sure. And then you go to the Mariners, and they do have the pitching rotation, and they do have the bullpen, but they can't score enough runs. Like Orloff said, Julio Rodriguez has not been, carrying his weight. I think he's only slugging 383 right now. He's not putting up the numbers that you would expect from him. And you have to look at that lineup. Like, where are they going to get their power? You lose a Teoscar Hernandez. They're really depending on Kyle Raleigh, to be the backup to Julio Rodriguez. So they need to go in at a bat. I think a team like that needs to be definitely watched for somebody like Vlad Guerrero. I think we're gonna see.
That's another team that needs to figure it out.
I don't think it's gonna be figured out. I think we're gonna see a sale of Vlad Guerrero or Bo Bichette in 2 months.
So sorry to their manager. Sorry, John.
Yeah, he should have been fired. He fucking sucks anyway. So I just think that they need to add some pop to that lineup. They need to give some real protection to Julio Rodriguez, or even somebody a little better than JP Crawford ahead of him. But they're just not scoring, and that's going to be a team that division is going to be the AL Central of the last few years, where somebody's going to win it with like 81, 83 wins. So those are my 2 surprising teams, and then just the last one, the Atlanta Braves. Their offense is not clicking. Chris Sale has been fucking dominant. They went and fixed him. Reynaldo Lopez has been fucking dominant.
Chris Sale and Reynaldo Lopez.
We knew that shit was gonna happen though. Like Alex Anthopoulos, meet me in the parking lot.
Yeah,
I knew it was gonna happen. It happens every time for that team.
Yeah, 100%. They just know how to figure it out. So they're getting kind of pitching there. Obviously you lose Spencer Strider, that's huge, but Ronald Acuna has been abysmal. Austin Riley has been out for the last 11 games. Marcell Ozuna, if it's not for Marcell Ozuna, I'm Ozuna from Braves, then they're not. Where are they right now in the NL East? They're probably third. So the Braves right now, their offensive output has really just been, the surprise for me in a disappointing way.
Well, I got a question for y'all. I really don't have to go with surprise teams, but out of the teams that were supposed to be contenders but kind of had slow starts, like maybe you say like Atlanta or like the Rangers who just won, who do you have the most faith in to bounce back and have the best second half of the season, even though we're still a month away from the official first half ending. Who out of the contenders who have started slow, which one do you have the most faith in?
That started slow.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in the Cubs. I think the Cubs will make the postseason.
They have no fucking. They
ain't got no rotation.
They have no fucking offense. They have no offense.
Offense is broke right now. Yeah.
It's the Braves. It's the Braves.
It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I had more faith in the Mets, and then I realized that Edwin Diaz has converted back to like his 2019 form. So now I'm out on the Mets again. Yeah. I'm sticking with. We're gonna revisit this, and I'm sticking with the Cubs.
I'm with Mikey, man. I'm gonna say the Braves, man. I think the Braves will find their way.
I like how we're saying that the Braves are starting slow, like they're not 29-18 right now.
Yeah, but
they
Braves,
they're not passing the eye test.
Yeah,
they're not passing. They're not passing the eye test. And when you go ahead and you bring in,
I worry more about the eye test if they fall under 500. If things get a little. Listen, Philly is on a crazy hot streak. They're going to come back down to earth at some point as well, especially if they don't fix their bullpen issues.
My thing with ATL is they're just not scoring enough for what you would, for what you expect out of that team. It really starts at the top with Ronald Acuna, because when Ronald Acuna is not getting on base, he's not, either whether it's through slug, with his home runs or extra base hits, he's not stealing bases, so he's not setting the table for the guys behind him. So, hopefully he can get going. Once he gets going, then it'll make Albies, Olsen, you add in Austin Riley. So I would still put money on them because they're just a 2-week stretch of tearing the fucking cover off the ball and going on an 8-1 run and really, getting back to who they are. The Astros, like we said, their issues are a little bit more deeply rooted. The Dodgers, they haven't started off bad, but their pitching is just not there. Too many injuries, and too many unproven guys. And they lost like 2 really bad games that Tyler Glasnow started where they were like minus 450 favorites, which is obscene in baseball. Never take a team that is minus 450 in baseball, for everybody out there, because baseball is just too unpredictable. But so I would say the Braves, and then on the AL side, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think we're seeing the 2 best teams in the Yankees and the Orioles in the same division. Somebody from the AL West has to get in, but until they can, you can't magically cure Max Scherzer's back. He's 40 years old. Like, you can't. Health is something that you really can't fix. You can hope that it gets better, but from that era, I think we're gonna see probably a team from the Central really make a run in the playoffs, and then hope that we get an Orioles and Yankees. Orioles and Yankees.
Seth Lugo on the mound, Game 1, Royals. Who says no?
That'll be fire. With Patrick Mahomes there in the stands.
Let's do it. What's their let's Royal. Let's ride.
Something.
Yeah, let's Royal. Let's Royal.
Well, let's go to the final topic. We're talking about the Yankees, like with as dominant as the Yankees have been. Juan Soto has come in, and he's been everything that we expected to be. He's been Juan Soto. Right now, they are 35-17, number 1 team in the American League. I think the Yankees. I said this about the Phillies, but it's actually very more true with the Yankees, because the Yankees ain't won a championship in 15 years now, which for any franchise, 15 years is a long time to win a championship. But for the Yankees, that's essentially 30 years. So it's been a long time. I think it's been a minute since they've been in the ALCS. What do you think about the Yankees, Courtney, everything they've been doing? And do you have faith in them that they can finally take that leap and get actually back into the World Series? Well, we ain't seen them in 14 years.
I mean, I have faith in them, considering that they've held it together. Their starting pitching has held it together without Garrett Cole, and they're going to get him back hopefully in June? Correct me if I'm wrong.
June. Yeah, about June.
Sounds like June.
I mean, again, that's hoping that rehab assignment and all that goes well. He'll be back in June. They've managed to piece together a nice start to the season. So, I mean, yeah, I think that it's possible, especially with the American League being a little bit weaker this season to a degree than it normally is. I think it's totally within the realm of possibility that we could see the Yankees. Honestly, a little 2009 rematch, Phillies, Yankees. Who says no?
I would be with that. I would be with that. I mean,
Who says
and
no?
what they're getting out of Soto and Judge is, Judge as of late is ridiculous. You're looking at 15 home runs for Judge, 13 home runs for Soto. The combined between the two, they have almost 77 RBIs. Over the last 25 games, Aaron Judge has 11 singles, 11 doubles, and 11 home runs. He's really starting to wake up. Who's been the most impressive for me on that Yankees is Luis Gil. Their pitcher, 6-1, 2.11 ERA, 70 Ks. He just had 14 Ks against the White Sox. I mean, they suck, but he's really been doing his thing. And Clark Schmidt,
so for you to slander the White Sox and no one says anything, but I say something.
I mean, it's like when somebody talk about your cousin. Like you can talk about your cousin, anybody else
I can talk shit about my little brother. Right. Y'all can't, yeah. But so I think the Yankees are right there. I mean, the Orioles are they're right there as well too. The Orioles, we saw what they did in spring training. They lost only 3 games in spring training, and they've just taken off offensively. But they're still a little green behind the ears. I still have question marks, about their rotation. Corbin Burns is really the only solidified ace there. Mm-hmm. So the Yankees, as long as they keep doing, they're getting timely hitting, from Alex Verdugo, and they're hitting the fucking ball out the ballpark, and that's what you need. Giancarlo Stanton still fucking amazes me to this day with the ferocity behind his swing and how far he can fucking put a baseball. So I think that the Yankees are going to be there, and it's always going to be contingent on the health of Stanton, Judge, obviously Soto. But Soto is doing everything that you would think he would do, and he's having a year that is definitely going to warrant a $500 million contract or more, this winter.
Absolutely. So speaking of that, at owner meetings on Wednesday, Hal Steinbrenner was noted as saying, and I quote, I'm going to be honest, payrolls at the levels we're at right now are simply not sustainable for us financially. It wouldn't be sustainable for the vast majority of ownership groups, given the luxury tax that we have to pay. Now, keep in mind, the Yankees have some money coming off the books this offseason in the form of a few different guys, relievers, not too many stars, but there are ways for the Yankees, again, one of the wealthiest franchises in all of sports. You're telling me that you can't afford to pay Juan Soto.
I mean, the fact that this is even a conversation to me is crazy because it is the Yankees.
Yeah, correct. So according to sportstrack.com, the Yankees are currently at $305 million payroll right now in 2024, with $202 million already on the books for next year. And they are second only to the Mets in payroll. Yes, George is rolling over in his grave. But listen, I kind of view the Yankees right now in the state that they're in similarly to how I view the Cowboys. They don't necessarily need to win because they print money. They are, as long as they continue to put out a relatively decent product, continue to market that product well, then that's all that their fan base needs. And they're going to keep selling them we're going to do it next year. We're going to do it next year in perpetuity because they don't need to win, because people are going to still go to Yankees games. People are still going to go to Cowboys games. It's never going to stop. It sounds terrible, but in regard to the Cowboys, until Jerry Jones is gone, and honestly, I can't even say that I think their son will
I say yes and no, because yes, you're 100% right. That's how the ownership to feel. I say no for the Yankees more than the Cowboys, because the Cowboys, they got some championships. The Yankees are like the Lakers of the MLB.
Well, the Cowboys. I want to be clear. I very much agree with you. Like the fact that there is no salary cap in baseball, and you can literally say, you got to pay a little extra tax. Like
exactly.
You can't charter your yacht for an extra fucking 2 weeks in the Mediterranean next summer. Like boo-hoo, cry into your fucking on your championship trophy. Like cry about it.
Yeah, I'll never side with owners crying poor.
Ever.
I'll never, especially the fucking Death Star up there in the Bronx and in the Yankees. But you have to look at it as, and I know a lot of Cubs fans are seeing this right now. Like, you're a major market team, and you have ownership who is kind of reluctant to spend. When you see a team like the Orioles, who's built through a prospect base, when you see a team like the Diamondbacks built through a prospect base, and you see them having success, a lot of these guys, and you have to also remember, people in baseball front offices, baseball scouts, baseball analytics, they are some of the most cocky and egotistical people when it comes to all of professional sports, because
100%.
they think that they can do something. We can get this production without going to, without getting somebody like Juan Soto. 100%. And that, as a fan, that's the shit that I don't fuck with, especially the Yankees. You tell me that Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't want to pay. I'm not going to cry over it anymore, because I know the man. I know how he runs both of his organizations here in the city of Chicago, and I know what to expect. But a team like the Yankees, I'm sorry, like, you should spend. The Dallas Cowboys, the Dodgers don't say that shit. They just go and spend. They just go and spend.
Similarly to the Mets, they're owned and operated. Well, and the Mets obviously are an individual private owner, but they're owned by a hedge fund.
Correct.
They've got fucking buckets of money.
Not only they owned by hedge funds
to get outspent by fucking the dude in Queens. That's crazy. You're the New York fucking Yankees.
The Dodgers. The Dodgers are also run by one of the most vicious competitors of all time, and Magic Johnson. That nigga does not like losing. So whatever money it takes to get it done is what's gonna get it done, man. But we're gonna wrap this up. This has been a longer episode because I know we're not recording on Monday. We can bring Bang back in here as we wrap this up for this episode. But no show on Monday. It is Memorial Day weekend. I will be grilling. If I hit you with a text, that means you can pull up, come get you a plate. You know what I'm saying? I hit Bang up, even though he lives in the boonies. I let him know, like, you pull up. You on mute, dog.
All this time to be the mute shit. Nah, say, man, I live 45, 50 minutes away, G.
Oh, that's it?
On traffic days, I live,
pull up. You know what I'm saying?
It take me 45 minutes to get to 79 on 80th and Vernon. Shit.
Okay, yeah, pull up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
I'm just scared of the South Side.
Are you scared of the South Side? That's hilarious.
Scared of the South Side.
We strapped up. But we gonna wrap this up, man. Hot corner, man. McCourtney and Mikey, y'all.
Hey, listen, my master got me working, man. I've been real busy.
You working them long hours.
Correct. I left my house yesterday at 9 a.m. I was not in my bed until like 1 a.m.
Well, you got a handful of games left, right?
I mean, God willing.
God willing, yeah, exactly.
Hey, Courtney, let me ask you a question. My man that works for the Heat, I know that they get bonuses for every round that they advance to. If they win the chip, they get championship rings, everything. Do they have that same model in hockey? Like, do the workers get, like, incentives for every round that you move on?
I off the record, we'll have that discussion.
Okay, perfect.
We'll have discussions off the record.
No, for sure, because I know in the NBA they do that, and I think in MLB as well. It depends on the organization.
Related note: do you like my new sneakers?
I do. Did you buy that hat?
No. Do you see what I'm? You like my new sneakers? I also bought a new skirt. Do you catch my drift?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Wait, you're right. Wait, hold up. You did send the go.
I copped some new sneakers.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got red bottoms on.
You're right. You ain't even. She ain't hit me for the Nike discount. She went straight to StockX. So you're right.
Oh, we got to talk about that off air.
Yeah.
Off record.
We got to talk about that off air. But the Hot Corner podcast coming next week. Courtney, Mikey, Dante giving y'all great baseball analysis. I'll be producing. I might pop in every now and then, give my 1-2, but check that out. Me, Bang, and Mikey about to knock out the local hour. For y'all getting y'all some good Bears content. We doing a claw?
Hell no. I do that where I'm from. They talk about Cobra Love.
But We gonna get out of here. You can follow Courtney and 1-800-CALLER BRO. You can follow me at Barchair Scott on all social media platforms. You can follow Bang at Jar Bang. You can follow Mikey at Junior_Solito. Follow the Barbershop Network at Barbershop Net. Follow HB Media TV on Twitter, and at HB Media on Instagram. And of course, man, you can get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. You go to pillarsclub.co, Pillars_club on Instagram, or you can visit any of their 3 locations. There's one in the West Loop. There's one in Orland Park Mall, and there's also one in Chicago Ridge Mall. They got $70 sweatsuits right now. You can get you, both of those broken up. You can get you a hoodie and just the pants, or you can get both, man. So get in tune with everything they got at Pillars. And if you want to watch the local out, go to patreon.com right now, /Barbers Chair Network. Subscribe to the $5 tier, the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier. Or if you want everything we got on the Barbers Chair Network Patreon, you can subscribe to the $10 all access tier, man. So this is basically y'all pregame show, man, because the West Coast Final about to come on as well. So
we got some hockey happening right now.
Hockey happening right now.
Let's get it. Let's get it, Dallas. Let's get it, Dallas.
Got the Sky Home opener tomorrow. There's a lot of good sports on this
Dallas
weekend.
Sports are thriving.
Chicago sports is coming. We coming back outside of the Reinsdorf on teams. We coming back. So stay tuned for that. Y'all have a good Memorial Day weekend. We up out of here.
Peace.